Welcome, everybody, to the Making Awesome podcast. This one will be significantly less spicy. So we got that going for us, which is nice.
My asshole does prefer the not in live spicy sessions.
It was fine. It was
And I'm not going to
fine.
give any context to anyone who doesn't know what we did last time.
Yeah.
So all they know is that it was a spicy time and my asshole didn't enjoy it.
And we're starting off strong on this one, I see.
Hey.
You have a range of
What is that?
Why do I have a range of...
What kind
This is the opposite
What kind of
an...
spoon is that?
Why do they give you so many spoons?
Why do you have so many spoons?
I will eat this with the big spoon. Just to spite her. Okay,
Jesus.
please close my door.
Oh, God.
So for people who don't realise, it's American Daylight Savings Time at the moment, or the opposite of that, where it's going to not be Daylight Savings.
No,
and
it
I
is.
didn't
We
know.
started DST last week.
Yeah, I didn't know that, so I thought the stream was in an hour. So I was about to sit down and enjoy some lovely Making Sauce and podcast content.
What is that?
It's Mum's chocolate cake with chocolate sauce.
I'm sure it's good. Your mom made it. I'm
And
sure
just to
it's good.
spite her, because she gave me this to...
You have to
be a
eat it
funny
with the big
bit.
spoon.
She's also given me, like, the second largest spoon as well. And then a regular size spoon, a smaller spoon.
I see that it
a
came
little bitty
with...
dainty spoon.
It came with... So I think you have to start with the biggest spoon, and then as you get closer to the end, you have to go to the
Good point.
tiniest spoon. Don't make too many dirty spoons. That's just a pain. But yeah, you have to, and then we have to get kind of toward the end of the show an autism spoon rating.
There we go. Have to hold it at the tip.
Well, I mean, why else? So we are going to be covering the TCT Asia and some of the announcements that came out of that are going to be important to the consumer industry. So we're going to be looking at, I guess there are updates to the Bambu H2D Pro. It's been out for a while, but they showed it printing peak, which is interesting.
Ooh,
We have the Flash.
that is interesting.
Now it's their peak. I'm going to talk about it.
Oh,
but,
is it peak asterisk, not actually
I don't know.
peak,
We're
but
gonna
it's beige?
talk about it, Jacob. Flashforge has a tool changer now, which is very exciting. Creality has their filament machine that they showed off, and now we have like actual pricing on it. And because we were way too busy, we were supposed to talk about this 2 weeks ago, but Construct3D released a bed cleaner.
Yes,
Which
we
isn't on
did.
your website. You need to put it on your website.
I know there's a reason, because we were doing something really good with the website, and then our website host just imploded because we tried to do something called clicking a button.
Got
And
it.
now none of our tax works correctly. Don't ask me how. It's all automated through like APIs, and we only get like tax information for half of the country.
Yeah, this is why
Certain areas just don't get taxed anymore.
we use Namecheap, and then we have WordPress, and then we put Divi on top of it. Like it works fine for us. And I do want to talk toward the end about some AI stuff. I had a fun conversation with. This is always fun with staff. So this individual was originally brought on to do CAD, but they have taken up a real like interest in AI and LLM. So they're going to help us write our AI policy for the company and build some internal LLMs that, it
That will
works
be
out.
nice.
Yeah, so we'll be talking
That's
about
really
that.
interesting, because I was also just about to hopefully start collating the information I got from Adrian relating to AI for software development and YouTube.
And YouTube.
And to put it in as it's worth watching, it is like 4 hours,
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna watch
all
it.
of it is full of gold.
I'm gonna watch it, and we'll
Oh my
likely, once we can parse it down and get rid of some of the stuff that's like superfluous, we might release a version of it for Patreon and YouTube members and all that. So, and then I guess probably the biggest news that everyone was excited for, the INDX Preorders have they were open to complete, so people can fully pay for their INDX Preorders now. Prusa released the final rendition of INDX on the Core 1, and it's got some people a little angry.
Really? I haven't actually seen what their final rendition
I'm
is yet.
almost positive I saw it in person at the factory, but it was such a fast, like, oh yeah, hey, there's the latest INDX, that it's kind of foggy in the brain, you know. But yeah, I kind of want to start with the Flashforge toolchanger, because we said since day one, the AD5M is the, like, poverty P1P, right? Dude, I saw a thing on Slick Deals. You can get them as cheap as $170 off
No
AliExpress
way.
right now. And it's a 220 cube, right? It's a full proprietary nozzle system. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But for under $200, I don't think you're getting a better 3D printer for the money right now.
I'm checking that.
It was on Slick Deals.
UK pricing will be different. But even if it's close to that, even if it's a bad printer, which it isn't, it's not a great printer, but it's not a bad printer. But even a bad printer at that price is a good deal.
Right, it was like the Gen 1 Ender 3s for $100. They weren't good prices, but they were, they weren't good printers, but the price was right, you know.
That price is great. 300 British pounds.
No, that's way too much. That's normal price.
But remember, Flashforge pricing in the UK is a bit more spenny than you expect.
That's fair. Okay. Well, they released and showed off the Creator 5, which is their 4-head tool changer, but it kind of breaks the mold for tool changers. It's the tools aren't on the back, they're on the side. I don't know why they did that. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but because, like, really the only difference here is where you put the screen. So maybe there was like a cable length thing that they had to deal with, and that's why everything's on its side. I don't hate it, to be clear, but I think it is kind of limited. If you wanted to put a bunch of these in a print farm, you now have this issue of the side of the machine is really bulky. It doesn't have spool holders on it that we could see. All that it seems to have is like an AMS style dryer that all the rolls stay in, which I'm fine with, but I don't necessarily want and, be required to have it next to the printer.
Yeah.
So
that's something that I've been interestingly trying to find creative solutions for, especially as everybody knows by now, we're making an INDX printer.
Right.
Storing the filament effectively is the actual challenge with INDX, not the actual print heads, because they're really bloody good.
Yeah, it
it's
becomes
where
a space
do you put them?
issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's where your lights out production unit could probably have some value to INDX from there, but I'm sure that's just feature creeping everything for you, so.
Feature creep is like our bread and butter. That's how we get the good stuff, is by feature creeping until we realize you can't go back.
I feel this pain. But yeah, so there isn't a price point out yet, but I think that probably the $500 range is likely where we're going to see it. It is a 256 cube. So it is smaller than a U1. It is obviously smaller than a XL. But
it's a lot cheaper.
Right. If they come in under the price point for a U1 and significantly under the price point for a U1, how do we feel about that? Right?
I'd be happy with that.
Because again, I think that we named the U1 the best printer under $2,000 for 2025, right? And it's under 1,000, but we said even when you go up to 2,000, not much is really going to compete with it, price to performance and capabilities, right? If this machine is, let's say 500, the U1 sits between 850 and 1,000. Does that kind of change the game for you a little bit?
Hard to say.
Yeah.
Rob Lutter in the
He said
chat has said it's $699
Wait, where I could not find a
on
launch page
Kickstarter.
for this thing. I looked, right? Flashforge Creator 5. I looked to find it. They have a launch page, but it's gone now.
I mean, GP3 Designs is corroborating.
Okay. If it's $700 or $800, no, go get a U1. There's yeah, they removed it. I don't know why they removed it, but to me, there's if it's like $50 less than a U1 on sale, the U1s normally are at 1,000. But if we're talking 800 versus 850, I'm gonna still go with the U1. But I guess a lot of people were saying that the Creator 5 is much less plasticky than the U1. Something about the U1 that U1 owners know is it's very
plastic.
plasticky.
It's Tupperware. It does
Yeah.
feel plastic. But I will argue, does that matter? And I'd say no. I don't care what it feels like. It's the quality of the parts it outputs is the only thing to validate. It could be held together with black magic, witchcraft, and rubber bands. If the parts that come off of it are usable and to good tolerancing, do you actually care what it feels like unless you are aesthetically minded?
To some extent, yes. Now, there's two sides to this coin. It's the, significant other, tax, right? Will they accept that machine? Will your significant other say, oh yeah, this is pretty enough for us to have it? Where does the pretty scale land, right? Bambu hit the engineering, pretty, and functional kind of ticked all three boxes. And previously, we haven't seen that much in the industry. Snapmaker said, let's just make something that works. People can put lipstick on the pig. We really don't care. Right? But my issue is not so much the, the significant other approval factor. It is the noise. Very plasticky machines will have a tendency to resonate at a bunch of different frequencies, and that's a pain in the butt. I don't like that. And especially if you have multiple machines, whether it's close to your bed, in your house, whatever, and you can hear them buzzing across your house, that sucks. That sucks a lot.
I will say I'm dead to that because I've heard so many machines, I've slept next to them. Like, noise doesn't really affect me anymore until I notice, oh, it's quiet.
Again, I think it does come down to the significant other approval factor, right? If it's noisy and rattly and feels cheap, then we have an issue because, yeah, it's going to make cool stuff. It probably won't resonate to where you can see it on
Explaining why your
prints.
plastic toy, like the machine, the being plastic
Right.
and Tupperware, cost £1,000 is a bit of a hard sell.
Right. Mad Cat found a review, it looks like, for it. Well, this is weird. This can't be right. It says the build volume's 320 by 200 by 200, but we know that's not right. It's 256 cubes, so I don't know if this is real. Anyways, they're gonna have a top hat for it, an enclosure system for it. But is it the right time, or do you think it's too late?
Oh, build volume. It wasn't 320 cubed. It's they said 320, 200, 200.
But it on the video. So Sam Prentice was at TCT Asia. He has a video showing that it is a 256 cube. So whatever link that Mad Cat posted, that's old information.
Interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree.
Either
Rob
way.
Lutter saying 200 on the Y and Z is madness. In this industry, it is. Yeah. So
yeah, like the minimum I would ever go down to is 220. 220 fits 80% of parts.
Yeah,
300, sorry, 250 fits 95%.
Right.
Well, and that's where size matters. Like, if the size is smaller, say it is 200 by 200,
yeah,
I'd expect that print to be 400, 500 quid.
Right.
To be fair, I expect this printer to be 500 quid to compete effectively with the Snapmaker.
Because the Snapmaker's $275.
Yeah.
And while that doesn't sound significant, right, it's only about an extra inch XYZ. The gentleman in our chat will tell you an extra inch for an extra $200. They're going to take it every single day of the week. All right, well, maybe a couple of you won't, but I'm not going to complain. And at 800 USD or even 650 as a pre-order, I don't think I can get behind it. 500, I can get behind it. 500, I'm looking at them, I'm considering them. I am saying, okay, these are options for us from a business standpoint, because at $500, they're disposable. Not that I enjoy having disposable machines, but they become disposable, right? $500 for a business is disposable. If it doesn't work for whatever reason, you just open another one and you have a brand new machine, and then you deal with fixing it later if you decide you want to fix it. Instead, you could sell it for $300 on Facebook Marketplace to someone that is happy to do the fixing. And now that machine's only cost you $200. But at 700, 800 USD, sorry, I think the U1 is going to be a better value, but you know.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
I was expecting the Flashforge to be 550.
I would...
650 is a hard buy.
It is.
650 being an early bird special mean it's probably going to be 700 plus.
Yeah, the commenters were saying 800 USD.
I can't justify that.
I can't. $50 more, I'm going with the U1. Sorry. But let's see. Right? Does the $799 come with the enclosure, right? Because Snapmaker doesn't. You have to buy that separately. You know, does it have a chamber heater? The Snapmaker chamber heater is attached to its enclosure, which you have to buy separately. See where I'm going with this. And while, yes, Big Tree Tech has their now Pop series, I think is what they're calling it, for Snapmaker, I get the joke immediately that they're calling it the Pop series. Do you get it? Snapmaker, and then the Pop is it's Snap Crackle Pop. It's a Rice Krispie treat reference. But
and when the wiring fails in the printer for some other reason, that's where you get your crackle from.
Look, I trust BTT to actually make good third-party products. For years now, we've used their products here in the shop, and I enjoy it. Actually, I want to get their new feeders. They showed them off at Smurf. And I didn't get a chance to talk with Luke. In fact,
I didn't see them.
I don't think that we will be able... I don't think we have enough footage to release a video from Smurf. I'll have to see. But we were streaming for 8.5 hours. And that was too long. We streamed for
If we took a 1 hour dedicated break, I could have run around and got enough B-roll footage. And the moment we were like, I'm off to take B-roll, is the immediate moment Adrian was like,
yeah,
we're doing a thing! And like,
Adrian's Mars Gizmo, for those that don't know who he is. That's Adrian Luban, a.k.a. Mars Gizmo. Because I got to talk with Adrian friggin' Boyer. Very excited for that. That's still like, they tell you
I've never seen you starstruck, but you were like...
You have to understand, that man is the reason we're all here today. Adrian Boyer is the reason that there are 57,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, why there are 92 people watching, although only 23 of them liked, and they should definitely like the stream. It's the reason Construct3D exists. It's the reason Prusa exists. It's the reason Bambu exists. It's the reason Flashforge exists. It's the reason Creality exists. Adrian Boyer is the reason that all of these things exist. And for anybody to discount that, you're just wrong. You're just freaking wrong. So yeah. And so
like,
yes,
he is the granddaddy of modern 3D printing,
and incredibly humble, right? Did not hold back, but very humble, right? I am excited. I'm going to schedule like a long form interview with him, similar to what we did with Sanjay. We're going to see if we can get him on the podcast as well, but I don't know what will work out. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I was starstruck, right? Of course I was starstruck. This man's the reason I have this job. Okay. Like, it's kind of crazy when you think of it that way. But yeah, as far as Flashforge goes, if it was $500, I was happy with it. At 800, I'm pausing. At 650, I'm still pausing.
I remember when Flashforge was the high expense, high quality printer manufacturer. Like, yes, they cloned the Ultimakers or the MakerBots, but they made them better. They went away from the wood. They turned them into plastic. They used steel frame construction.
Yeah.
They weren't just copying and making it cheaper. They were copying and fixing the problems of others. And now it seems to have flipped. They've gone from, we make overpriced, and I will die on that hill, overpriced but higher quality equipment, to, and it's a bit cheaper, but...
Well, my issue with, like, the 85M has always been the cost of consumables. So, like, the nozzles. You can't just replace a nozzle. You can't just replace a heater. You can't just replace anything other than the entire hot end. It is a proprietary connection. It uses springs and clips to hold it in. It is easy from a user standpoint, but it's like 35 or 40 US dollars for an OEM. There are some third-party ones out there that exist. They work, but they're still like 20 bucks a pop. And the third-party ones do allow you to change out the nozzles, but if you break the heater, you're screwed. If you break the thermistor, you're screwed. There's no easy way to fix that stuff. But like Rob Lutter says, at 500 bucks, I throw my wallet at the screen. I agree. At 500 bucks for this, I don't care about the enclosure. I will pay extra for that. Let me pay an extra 100, 150 bucks like you do with the Snapmaker. I don't care. But if your price all in is 800, I don't know if I like that. If it's all in at 650 with the enclosure, maybe. Right, because Snapmaker's closer to like 1,000 or 1,100 with the enclosure. And they're not even expecting that until September or October of 26. Like, you're talking another 6+ months before you can enclose that, unless you go third party. But will third party have a heater? I don't know just yet. So it is interesting to see it. There's been leaks of this thing for months. Flashforge themselves put it on their wiki for a bit. Community found that. They made pages on their website about it. Community found that. Obviously, pictures of it leaked. Community found that. So there's Reddit posts all over the place if you wanted to see it. Rob Lutter, of course, says we can fix that with an IKEA tub. Yes, you can. There's the IKEA tub mod for the U1, where it's just a big Tupperware container that goes on top. And it
works surprisingly well.
But there's no heater. There's no heater. Now, the Panda Breath module fits in the U1. Do I care, right? At some point, I'm spending so much money and time to get an OEM-like solution. I would rather just have the OEM solution, you know? Or an all-in-one solution, like an enclosure with a Panda Breath built into it, right? Or a combo where I can buy it all together, right? I don't necessarily want to have to buy 3 or 4 things to get the same thing that I would get from, the normal thing. What the? Oh. The Church of Scientology is calling me.
Oh. I'm tempted to say just pick it up.
No, they're calling the business. So we'll call them back.
Aww.
Yeah, that's an odd one. Church of Scientology Flag Service Organization is calling the company. Weird. Okay. I don't know if you know this, but their headquarters is like 45 minutes away from me down in Clearwater, Florida. I don't know if you knew that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, so it's not uncommon to get like business calls from them. Yeah, and like Rob Lutter says, might need a print. They've got money. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And we don't generally turn away money. Although I did do that. I turned away money, but I did it for a good reason.
And what was that?
We had a same day print request for a celebration of life for a child. So I'm going to get that printed exactly how they wanted, and I'm not charging them a dime, because no parent should ever have to bury their child. So
Yeah.
I filmed a little video about it. I'll put it up on like Instagram and all that later today. But yeah, yesterday was getting the phone call, hearing the story, getting the part, printing out the part. Hour later, you know, the dad shows up to get the part, and it's like, he's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm very sure. I don't want your money. I want you to take the money that you would have paid me." I said, and it wouldn't have been much. It would have been like $10, right? And I want you to spend it on the party, spend it on the guests, you know, give it to somebody else, right? If you want to leave us a Google review, please go ahead. That doesn't cost anything, but I'll make my money doing other stuff, man. I don't want to make my money by monetizing, you know, a family's loss of their child. Sorry, that's not how this works. But, you know, back to what we were talking about. At what point does a 256 cube 4 tool head tool changer become not interesting to you? What price point?
As in, oh no, because there's so many aspects that make a tool changer not interesting to me. One is reliability, second is price.
Okay.
The reliability is probably the number one. I'd rather have an expensive tool changer that works than a cheap one that doesn't. Like, everybody who's had one of the earlier Bambu, like, first generation AMSs knows the pain of filament breaking off in the tubes in the AMS, and then having to spend 45 minutes and hopefully not ripping out a ribbon cable to free the tube. But the price, that makes it harder. I would say, what was the build volume that you were basing
256
this off?
cube.
250? 256.
So
I
X1
would
carbon,
say-
P1S, P2S. You know, your classic Bambu build volume.
I'm going to say something bad because I know people aren't going to agree with it. I'm going to say $850. I think even the Snapmaker is overpriced for what it should be, but that's only because the Prusa XL was its price and they were basing theirs off of what the
Well, the
cap
XL's
is.
like almost $5,000 now. Right?
Yeah, which is nobody should be buying that at this point.
No.
It's too expensive. The only
unless-
reason you'd buy it is the silicon printing heads or the carbon fiber direct composite printing heads. Like, you're not buying it just for
Pick
tool
and place.
heads anymore.
Again, I was a day one pre-order. I waited 2 years to get it, right? I have no regrets of getting that
And I'll
XL.
say, if I did get one now, I would also have no regrets. But I'm not interested.
I don't have a silicone tool head on the way, and I also want to point out the comments on our videos when you say silicon, because the British way of pronouncing silicone is basically the same as silicon. Is very funny to me. They're like, he's not saying it right. I'm like, no, he's just British. Leave it alone.
Great engagement farming.
Yeah, great. Yeah, dude, across all social media platforms, the silicone tool head short that we put out has over 3.5 million views. It has almost 2 million
Hell
views
yeah.
on TikTok.
Hell yeah!
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, damn!
Yeah, that is our biggest like video to date kind of thing. It's like Millen 3D Studio said, why would anyone buy an XL with one head was my question. If you need the build volume, right? There's not much else out there that fits that 360 cube build volume. And I know plenty of people that ordered XLs with one tool head. I don't think that's the right move, but they did because they just needed the build volume. They wanted the Prusa quality, and I still think the XL's kind of been treated as the redheaded stepchild right now. But if you don't need the build volume, go get a Core 1 Plus or a Core 1L with INDX and move on for half the price, right? Like, there's no reason. And yes, you do lose some build volume. I think the official number was like 15 in the Y and 2 in the X for your build volume loss on the Core 1. It's not bad, right? But
And that's what makes tool changers harder for me, is INDX is looming, which is just a cheaper, superior tool changer in my eyes.
Bontech's website was
And-
DDoSed once again when everyone was able
Hugged to death.
literally when it's not like you were going to lose your pre-order, but everybody wanted to get it through fast, right? Their website was hugged to death for hours. Again, because of this.
But like with Index coming out, tool changes have already taken a step back in my head.
Fair.
And in fairness, the popularity of AMS systems made tool changers take a step back in my head. Because the only reason I'd get a tool changer is multi-material, not multicolor.
Correct.
It's lost one of the you can do multicolor and multi-material to just being multi-material.
Right.
That's a reduction in capability for something that I could get a 400 quid Bambu Lab and an AMS, and I get all the color options a lot cheaper than even the new Flashforge tool changer.
Right. It's just
It makes it harder.
Tool changers, though, for speed. Like, if I take the Prusa XL and the Bambu X1 carbon, because that's the only Bambu that I have, and put them side by side with the same print, the XL is like 40% faster. For the sole purpose that it doesn't poop, purge, or retract filament, all the way back to the AMS. That is the only reason it's faster. And if it's a single color print, the Bambu is going to run circles around it. And sure, there's this, desire for speed and waste reduction. But
see, I don't value speed and waste. Because if you're doing multicolor already, you already threw speed out the window.
Okay.
Because you're doing changes just to get a color. That's an aesthetic choice and it takes time. Yes, it takes more time. But if you're doing like a multicolor benchy, just for example, we do 18-minute benchies as default. When we went to a multicolor with 2 colors on our prototype printer, it went to 45 minutes.
Right.
That was with 8-second changeovers. Pardon me.
It changes quite a bit.
And then you get the waste. Like, waste is not a problem to me because I run a factory. If I'm doing multicolor, I was already expecting a waste percentage. And that waste percentage is not a problem for industry. Hell, if you look at any injection molding company, the amount of plastic they actually waste in each injection is quite a lot. Because you've got to deal with the flashing, you've got to deal with the sprues that then get ejected out of. I don't care if we lose 100 grams or 200 or even 300 grams of waste material, because that's just the job. And if you're doing it as a business, you just margin that into your profits. That's it. You just put it in. You're like, okay, it takes a little bit more to make these parts, but the reason we're doing it is worth it. Otherwise, it could be a single part print.
See, waste matters a lot to me. It does. I understand that the vast majority of people don't care, right? Because whatever, right? Their plastic waste is not digging into what overseas companies are doing. It's not digging into, what the automotive manufacturers are throwing away. But look, man, I don't know. I don't like the idea of just a bunch of poop that I have to throw away. And seeing the posts on Facebook of people with literal trash cans full of compacted Bambu poop that they don't know what to do with, I don't like it. It's because to me, what happens? It goes into a landfill. And the whole purpose of 3D printing is to reduce the amount of waste that we get out of.
That's the point.
You disagree.
I disagree in the most eco-friendly way I can, which is probably going to piss some people off.
Mm-hmm.
The emphasis on recycling shouldn't ever have been put on the consumer.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. It's in that. It is in that tier for a reason. Recycle is the worst of the three. And
on top of that, you get companies that will waste your entire year's worth of waste in a minute.
I understand.
A second.
I understand. But that doesn't mean...
when we're already doing 3D printing, which is the least wasteful form of manufacturing on the planet...
Maybe.
3D printing, even with support material, does beat, marginally, injection molding.
I'm looking at CNC machining because the chips can get recycled fully.
at recycling the material is not the whole story. It's also the energy cost to recycle.
Okay, that's fair. You know what? Fair.
Just because it's
Fair.
cheaper to recycle chips doesn't actually mean it's environmentally friendly. It's why
Fair.
they recycle all the aluminium, because it's cheaper from the electricity cost to reprocess dirty aluminium than it is to refine bauxite into aluminium. Because the refining process is like 40% more energy.
So
That's why they recycle it. Otherwise, if they had infinite energy, they just mine more from the ground and we'd have more landfill. This whole, you need to worry about where your waste goes.
I hate this.
Like,
I hate this.
say you've got your big black, like, general landfill bin and you fill it to the top with 3D printed stuff.
Yeah.
Does it matter? No, it really doesn't matter at all.
I hate this.
Because the waste everywhere else sucks.
I hate it. Because, but see, that thought process is what got us to this part and this problem in the first place, right? That thought process of, oh, you know, my little bit of bamboo poop is not going to matter because company X is doing, you know, 100 kilograms an hour of plastic waste into landfills. That is exactly how we got here in the first place.
But this is the point. Like, if you were making something
I don't like this.
has a small amount of waste. Say you made a kilo part and you have 100 grams of waste.
Yep.
That's amazing. That's a 90% efficiency on part to waste ratio. If you go to CNCing, you're at 15%, maybe 20%.
But again,
Like,
you can
that's
you
really
can
good.
recycle that. Yes, there's an energy cost to it, but it is, if you're producing your energy via green methods, right, this is very much the argument between pure capitalism business and the end user, right? I want to go as close to carbon neutral as possible. One, because it's fun, right? We want to go fully off grid for the business and stuff like that, because that stuff is fun for me. But is it ultimately practical? The answer is no. It's not practical because of the way and how cheap energy is. Even though energy's not that cheap by me, it's like half of what it is for you. And,
oh yeah, ours is expensive.
and-
Ours is the equivalent of like 35 cent a kilowatt.
Mine's half that. Mine's like 16 cents a kilowatt hour. But, you know, and not to be political about it, because I think it's every single, like, president and Senate, House, they've all eroded the benefits of clean energy and the benefits of having decent recycling. Like, dude, I have actual bags full of cleaned, certified, pure, it's the same material, waste that I'm waiting for a good solution to do something with it. If I can't find a good solution, I'm going to melt it down into
I'm glad
bricks.
you brought that up, because I'm not sure if this is something that Americans don't have to do, but in the UK we have to as a business, and this includes being a sole trader.
Okay.
When you get to making money with your 3D printers and you do it as your primary income source, you have to follow the law. And part of the law is waste.
You have laws.
So we have laws. We have loads of
we
laws.
don't have
Sometimes
laws.
too many laws.
There are no
but one
laws
of the
about
things-
waste.
So for Construct3D, an example, even though we are classified as an MSME, so micro and small enterprise, whatever the hell the rest of the acronym is, I've forgotten it by just saying it out loud. But we're a micro company. We still have to follow the WE and the ROSH law around factory waste. And we have to monitor how much waste we send out, and if it goes over a certain threshold, we are legally forced to separate it all out to landfill, recycling, glassware, metalware, because otherwise we get fined. We literally would get fined if we just send things to landfill. Thankfully, as a company, every year we produce less than 1 ton of general waste. Everything else is already recycled, and that's because we run a 3D printing factory where we use 3D printers, so we have barely any waste in the first place.
Yeah,
like,
we have
most of our
nothing like
waste is
that.
filament spools, and that's cardboard. So
We have nothing like that here. So the only time that you start to get into, like, business level waste is when you're talking about chemical waste, right? Toxic waste and that kind of stuff. So, you know, whether it's like proper chemical handling and disposal, but otherwise, no, there's not that I'm aware of. If there are, oops, because no one's told me about it, and I have 2 degrees in this stuff. But yeah, in the States, it is much more nonchalant. And, you know, I pay about 16 to 17 cents a kilowatt hour. For us to go fully off grid is about $30,000. If I want to buy it all retail, it's about 30 grand
That's not bad.
without installation. So that's just the raw
Oh,
components.
just install it yourself.
Well, yes, of course.
Even high voltage isn't that scary as long as you don't lick the contacts.
I'm aware. A DIY setup I can do for about half of that, but I'm going to look at the full, you know, the big number. You're looking at like 7 to 10 years payoff for that, which is, you're going to need new batteries in 7 to 10 years. So it doesn't always...
Be British. Our electricity's so expensive, you'll pay off halves.
Well...
Not even kidding. Because you sell it to the grid, you get like 1 to 2 pence a kilowatt back.
Oh, I thought ours was bad. Ours is only 5 cents to sell back. And that's so cheap, I'm not going to sell back. I can make more money by taking any excess energy that we have, either offering free electric vehicle charging, right, just to get rid of the excess storage, or 2, which is likely what we'll end up doing at some point, is setting up a Bitcoin mine farm or any cryptocurrency farm and just use that energy to mine cryptocurrency.
Also, free heating.
We don't need that. It's Florida. Homie, it's 28 Celsius here right now.
Pump your cryptocurrency miners into 3D printer chambers.
You know, I've said this about Prusa, where they should take that print farm and the heat that comes out of that print farm, they duct it outside. They just put it through some filters and they duct it right outside. Why are you not somehow filtering this and having a valving system for your central HVAC?
HVAC exists for a reason. You've got your valve.
Yeah.
Just throw it through.
Filter it, obviously, so you don't get the microparticles going through the air, but that's no big deal. Then you can just push it through the rest of the factory and warm the factory, but meh. I don't know. Mad Max with the $2 saying no giveaway today, just asking. My code is not working, so currently we are pausing the filament giveaway for printed solid. I guess we could still do one for UK and EU, but printed solid's going through a bunch of changes right now, so my code is expired and I need to, yeah.
You need to poke them.
Yep, I need to poke them, but I'm giving them some time and I'm working with them on some other stuff right now where I'm not under an NDA for this, so I can show it. This is the second, I think it's like number 4, number 5. I don't know. Yeah, it's number 4, so it says it right on there. Quarter white PETG.
Nice.
So I think we're going to go to half white. I have some tests that I did in this. This is still the unopened spool. The other ones I've been through already, but it's a little too translucent, but we're just screwing around till we get something that works. And then I'm going to see if they can make me bigger rolls. But
nice.
Also, yeah, guys, these streams are ad-free for YouTube. We do obviously thank our sponsors like Construct3D, 3D Musketeers, 3D Prima, Printed Solid. Try to think if there are any others. I don't think there are any others currently.
I think that's it.
Don't forget to like, obviously, but yeah, this is what we do to help.
No, you're wrong. It's not don't forget to like. No, you're going to like. This is a threat. This is a direct threat. Like the video.
What's a threat from the Brits?
I am going to bring Big Spoon. I'm going to trigger you. Big Spoon.
Big Spoon. Big Spoon.
Got big
Mad
spoon.
Cat says to get
We've got a little
Polymaker.
spoon.
We've had a good relationship with Printed Solid, and I think that we would maintain a fully USA-based manufacturer where we can. Yeah, so, sorry. I don't want to just have a longer... Like, right now I have, like, a pretty decent queue to give away filament. I don't want to make that queue any longer at the moment, so... But yeah, I think that the conversation of waste brings us right into, to me, both exciting and eyebrow-raising, the Creality M1 and R1, I think is what they're calling it, which is their shredder and their filament maker.
I'm not going to say anything until you say anything because I have feels.
Oh, Glenn says he'll cover shipping. Are you sure you want to cover shipping to the US this week, my brother? Are you sure?
You know, there's kind of a geopolitical instability.
There's some geopolitical
going
problems
on.
right now, and it could be expensive. Well, you know what? Here's what we'll do. I'll let me get the giveaway form, and instead of, if you're in the States, I don't want 3D Prima to like get absolutely obliterated with shipping expenses, because I'm certain it's going to be expensive. I would rather give away shirts if we can. That's probably acceptable. Where the heck is my... Where's my share on this? What? My God, this is terrible the way that Google has changed this. There's the copy responder link. But yeah, my thoughts on... Oh God, my thoughts on... He said it can't be that bad. Glenn, that's famous last words right there.
You know what? That's his own problem. He's going to learn the hard way now.
Okay. There you
Sorry,
go.
Glenn.
Enter to... Oh God, it's a long link. I hope that works. Someone will have to tell me if that works. Well, thank you to 3D Prima for picking up on that. Greatly appreciated. Thank you to
Printed
Glenn.
solid Jesse filament giveaway. It worked.
Oh, I should probably change that to just filament giveaway, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Filament giveaway. There we go. I think it will publish automatically. Yeah, it probably should. Big thanks to Printed Solid. And I didn't realize I didn't change that. 3D Prima. Cool. Cool. And I guess Glenn's going to cover the cost of the shipping, so fine. Cool. All right. Still says thanks, Prince. I'm working on it, guys. Okay, this is all being done live. Work with me. So yeah, the M1 and R1 from Creality. I like the idea, but as someone that owns a Filastruder, it's dumb. And their claims of 1 kilo an hour are absolute BS. It's absolute BS.
It gets worse than you think. So, I'm gonna send you the link. I'll put... Oh, bloody hell, my mouse keybinds aren't working. I'm gonna put it in the actual chat so people can see this as well. Go down to says, what 3D printing waste can you use in your R1, which is their recycling unit? Notice the pre-processing required part.
Yeah, but they have a shredder for that.
But they don't like rounded shapes, which means you can't actually use nurdles, the raw pellet
No, you
form.
can. You can. You can.
Then why does it say it doesn't like rounded shapes?
Because the pellets aren't technically round. Right? And come on, man, it's sub 2 centimeters that the pellets work. Pellets work.
I don't like the wording, but pellets should work. But even with that, I don't like this. Because, A, the speed, insanely fast. Impossibly fast. Your quality control is going to go down tremendously because of it. On top of that, you've got all of the original issues of recycled filament being it's slightly degraded, you don't know what the blends are. Now, it's not a fun experience.
It'll focus eventually. I want you to see the dust on that spool for how long I've had it. This is one of the first spools we ever made on our own. Okay, this is before we understood master batch colors and that kind of crap. We had no idea what we were doing. This is all raw, pure PLA with master batch. And like, it's on a Ninja Flex spool. Should tell you how old that is. And if anyone from Ninja Tech is watching, there's the lot number if you want to figure out how old this spool is. I used to buy these spools for 50 cents. 50 cents each, delivered. And I buy the box so we can make our own filament. That was back when filament was $60 a kilo. It's not $60 a kilo anymore. It's like
It's 12.
even good, like expensive filaments, 30, right? 35 for Prusa. They're saying that, you know, because again, you can't use pure waste. You have to add virgin material. If you want to add master batch coloring, you can. Fine. But they're saying $5 a kilo cost. That means it's 340 kilograms to break even on the MSRP of $1,700 US.
Not worth it. It's not worth it.
I
can make an argument that one bit of it is worth it, but not their whole solution. And that's just the shredder.
The shredder's
because
great.
Everyone that's like got the Bambu Lab filler poops.
Great on the shredder.
They are terribly optimized for space. They're just 90% air because it's just a coiled up mess.
Sure.
Like, honestly, I don't actually even think people would have a big problem with, like, AMS waste if the waste was in cubes. Like, they just printed a cube and it popped a cube out like a Lego brick.
Yeah.
They would be so much smaller because there's barely any, like, waste. It's like 2 grams.
Like, I can certainly see this, and I don't hear a machine running. Okay, it finished. I wanted to make sure it wasn't out of filament. I can certainly understand this for print farms that want to process their poop back into a recyclable material that they can either give away, use for personal stuff. I can see reasons for this. And the reason of, oh, I want it to pay for itself, I don't think is a good reason. Now, yes, that's $8.99 if you buy in the first round, yeah, and you do their pre-order. I don't care. You can't look at those numbers and say, that's what I'm going to put my ROI toward. As a business, that doesn't make any sense. We want to look at our MSRP and what the MSRP would take to pay it back. 340 kilos. Now, for a business our size, we're going through about 80 to 90 kilos a month right now. But that's not waste. The vast majority of it, like I would say 99% of it, is printed plastic, and maybe 1% of it is waste. So say it's 1 kilo of waste per month, right? Brother, that means it's going to take me 340 months to pay this machine back. What is that, 20 years?
How about I go one step further? Assume like you're going to get return on investment on your recycled filament. Are you going to trust your own recycled filament to do customer parts with?
We would have to certify it, right? So we would have to like I would, and we would offer like a discounted rate for that material. However, I'm not certain that okay, my experience on this is running a fill extruder so long, the grease in the bearings flashed off over the course of like 5 or 6 years, and the bearings seized. So, like, that was useful when it was $60 a kilo. It's not $60 a kilo anymore. So, I don't know. It was fun when we had a public-facing shop, right? I think it is a cool idea, and I think makers will adopt it because they can. But I'm not certain that if you're buying it to pay it off with cheaper filament, I think that's the bad move. If you're buying it to experiment with different materials, experiment with short run, colors or things like that, great. But if you're buying it to pay itself off with cheaper filament, I think that's the wrong move for it. But I think that's how they're going to market it.
And that's the thing. That's the problem is I can't use recycled filament. I can't trust it. If I'm doing customer work, you've got to rely on the quality of the material, and if the material doesn't work, I can't use it. And if I'm testing something, I'm going to get it properly done.
Yeah, I mean, offering a recycled material where there's like no guarantee of dimensional accuracy, fine. Yes, I realize Jacob's getting like video bombed right now.
The 6-year-old has found her way into the studio and locked herself behind a door. Oh,
this is what you get. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I want one. So like I want one because I like to experiment with materials, but I do also want to recycle the materials that we have and use it for personal projects, right? Where I can do, whether it's fun projects or things like that. I want one for that reason. I also want to show it off on YouTube, compare it to the old Filastruder that I have that I don't even think works anymore. Dude, I mean,
it would be nice to see like custom colors, and that's like the fun bit is like making your own rainbow vomit colors. But other than that, like as a business case, it doesn't make sense. You're not going to actually earn your money back on it.
No.
And you're not going to be able to use it for customer parts. So, for example, we use black PETG for everything. And if we only ever recycled black PETG for everything, I still can't use that recycled filament because it's not the same quality of what we're used to.
But you can use it for personal projects.
I wouldn't even do that. Because if I've got a profile that's designed for factory use, which means it has been pushed to the limits of what that material is capable of, a recycled material might not be as capable and might break a printer. And that's the big problem, is when you've got a recycled filament and it fails, say the diameter goes off slightly, it over extrudes, it hits the nozzle, you've now broken a printer. I don't see the value in the risk.
So, and this is like speaking from years of experience doing this. Your issues won't be diameter inconsistencies. Your machines will generally handle that pretty well.
It's flow rate causing parts knocking over. That's how I see it.
Nope.
Because I've seen it before.
It's none of that. That's not an issue at all.
Okay.
It's garbage.
So what is it then?
It's garbage. Hair, dirt.
Oh.
It's dust.
Nozzle clogs.
Yeah, it's crap getting into your filament. And yeah, you can put a screen in the way, but that screen gets clogged really, really fast. Creality will likely have some way of doing it, but I can tell you, nobody has come out with something that is affordable since the Filastruder for a reason. It is great if you want to experiment. It is terrible if you want to do it from a return on investment standpoint. However, I want to experiment. I have literal bags full of PETG parts. Now, they're dead solid, so I will have to shred them some other way. Bring in my electric wood chipper, which I bought for the sole purpose of breaking up plastic. You can use a blender, but electric wood chippers are better.
I never considered using a wood chipper.
Yeah, so we used to use a chainsaw to cut them up in smaller pieces. They would fit into the wood chipper, then a wood chipper. From the wood chipper, it would go into a modified paper shredder, which it was taken apart. All the teeth were turned around backwards. So the outlet was now the inlet. We then added a flywheel that weighed like 4 pounds. So you had to like slowly spin it up yourself. Then you could turn the motor on. And it had enough torque to get through those parts. It was jank, right? And just that issue alone meant once the parts came out of shredding, they had to go through a washing cycle because there could be oil, dirt, grime, debris on it. And it became such a challenge that we said, yeah, no, we're done.
Do you remember when everyone was like, oh, we should oil our filament?
Hey,
Let's oil the filament.
Hey. One, we did that and it works. It worked.
It doesn't work.
It worked back then. It worked back then. And I will go through why it worked back then.
What are you talking about?
It worked. Shut up. And I've even done it to this day with really
that's
long
placebo right there.
I've
my
done it
dude.
with
That's
really long
placebo.
Bowden tubes. There's a reason to put oil on filament for really long Bowden tubes, but you only do it once every blue moon.
Okay, hot take. You're using the wrong Bowden tubes then.
No, it's just a really long Bowden tube.
How long?
Meter and a half, but it's also pulling from a 3 kilo roll. So there
You're
is a
using
fair
the wrong Bowden tubes then.
Shut up,
You want to
Jacob.
use the 2.5 or the 3mm
I
inner
burned
diameter
through
ones.
those so fast.
It's called a consumable. It gets
It's
consumed.
good and consumable. I don't want to mess with my
And
machines.
how fast are you burning through them?
We go through 2mm ID every 3 to 4 weeks. We burn through them.
No way. No
Yeah.
way.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're doing something wrong.
No, we're doing a lot of printing is what we're doing.
No, you've got friction in that system not being caused by the tube, but probably the weight of the spool.
Could be. Don't know. That's why I want that auto loader thingy.
You want that
from...
pre-feeder.
Yeah, I want that pre-feeder.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't go through a tube like maybe every 8 months.
Oh no.
24/7 printing.
So you can actually see on the roll
5 months
behind
if
me.
it's carbon fiber.
There, and if you look, you see how there's 3 pieces of black on the white. The middle one is the feed tube. The ones on the outer are the rollers for the larger reel. The feed tube is a piece of PTFE. There's a coupler on it so that the PTFE stays in place. That feed tube wears out, and it's because it goes through really sharp bend radius, so the machines can be close. It burns through that bend
not
radius pretty
doing
quickly. Well, I need my machines
What is the bend
close.
radius? What is the bend radius?
What the tightest I can get before the filament snaps.
That's not a good answer.
I don't care.
You need to measure that.
No, I don't.
Filament should not be bent more than in a 45 mil radius.
It's fine.
Like if your diameter is smaller than 90 mil, you're bending your filament too much.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm aware that I'm bending my filament too much. I needed these machines to be very close because the third machine on the shelf was so big that if they weren't this close, it wouldn't fit. Now that third machine is gone, and I just haven't moved the machines apart anymore. But it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I could go to larger Bowden tube that would probably help things out. I just put a little PTFE oil on the filament. When I load in a new large spool, I dip the tip of it in that PTFE lube and just run it through. It's fine. I understand. And back in the day, we did it because machining tolerances were crap. And you did it similar to the way that you season a pan. I know you don't like this, but it worked. Okay? It worked. It wasn't to lubricate things. It was to keep them from sticking. Get mad. Get mad all you want. Get mad all you want. You're just jealous because it worked.
I'm not jealous because
You're
it
jealous
works.
because it worked.
This is just Florida in a nutshell.
I don't
It's doing
care.
something that shouldn't work. It worked for you, and probably gave you like heavy doses of neurotoxin.
And so is everything else in the world, okay? Gosh. No, look, we did it back in the day because machining tolerances were bad. It was very often that you would buy nozzles that had chips in them still, right? So you would try to drill it out a little bit and try to clean it out. But the problem that we ran into was you wouldn't get a smooth transition from the PTFE liner that you had to the cut down for the neck down for the nozzle tip. So because that wasn't very smooth, we would literally season the actual nozzles. When we would get brand new brass nozzles, we would heat up oil in a pan and we would coat them in hot oil until they turned black, because that meant that they had absorbed that oil. And if we ran the nozzles on their own, they would clog. We would have problems. When we oiled it, it worked fine. I get it. It doesn't make sense. But this is... Glenn said, what shit nozzles were you buying? This was a long time ago, Glenn. This was 2012, 2013. Right? This was a long time ago in this industry where, like, when the Wanhao Duplicator i3 came out,
Oh, hell yeah,
Yeah.
brother.
The stock nozzles on those were terrible. And it was until Micro Swiss came out with their all metal hot end kit for it. And that was like one of Micro Swiss's first products that I remember. And they visited our shop. I remember when the Micro Swiss guys came into my retail store. We always laugh about that when we get together. Like, we've known each other for so long, but they visited us when we had a retail store. But this, up until the Micro Swiss stuff, we had to. It was just not good filament back then. All right,
Yeah,
I can maybe
don't
buy it
actually
if it
get
was
the same
Wadhow
thing.
nozzles. Thank you. I know you can. I know you can.
This is why back in the day I always used a filament supplier called Rigid Ink.
Yep.
And they were
I remember Rigid Ink.
so good.
They were good.
Oh, Rigid Ink, actual usable filament.
Like $80 a kilo to get it into the States.
Really?
Really, really.
Holy hell.
Yep.
I've still got some wheels behind me.
I might. No, that's Spoolworks roll. Like some of my older stuff. I've got up brand filament still.
Actually, I should say I do have up brand filament. I'm never using it. It is dog shit.
Oh, it's just pure ABS.
Bad.
I've been using it.
Pure ABS.
Dude, I've been using it in the HT90. It loves it.
I've been using it in the well, I also had to modify it because it's 3mm filament for some reason.
Oh, mine's not.
Not 2.85, 3.
Yes.
So I've got a custom light insert for a C2, and even that is struggling to print it in full temperature, and it's just like.
Glenn says, if you want, we probably still have some Wadhow nozzles on the shelf. Put those in a glass case as, history of the industry, right? Dude, it was rough, right? But those were $300 printers, okay? Those were $300, and we had 15 of them at one point. They had no thermal runaway protection. They had their end stops were actual physical switches, but the switches were really, really bad, and the little lever on them would often break off. So sometimes they just
I had
wouldn't
them
home.
where they got dust in the actual contactors, so it doesn't matter how many times it clicks, it ain't working either way.
It was a good direct drive system, but it was a direct motor drive. The motors had so much torque that it would just twist the chassis off the line. And see, that's a joke you don't get because you haven't seen Fast and Furious references, or Fast and Furious movies, and I hate you for that. But, dude, they had so much torque, they would just eat your filament. The extruder feed gears weren't cupped. You know how extruder feed gears are now like cupped for filament to fit in? Nope, they weren't like that. So if you ran out of filament, which they didn't have run out sensor, so if you ran out of filament, the metal idler bearing plus the brass extruder gear all of a sudden would cut grooves into your extruder gear that would keep it from working. Oh my God, it's just... I need a drink. Things were bad back in the day. You still have a D4S in the box? Oh my God. I've set Wanhouse on fire here for videos. And yes, Mad Cat says to tell Glenn to ask me about the MakerBot that we have. Mad Cat found close to him a MakerBot Replicator 1 wood that's signed.
Oh.
Now we know Brie Pettis's signatures on it, but we're not certain who the other ones are. So it's pretty great. Glenn says my first job at 3D Primo was repairing duplicator i3s that we got back from Amazon. Hey man, the DIII coolers back then, that was the ever-loving shit. Those were so good. You went from this stupid like 20mm radial axial fan to a 40 by 15mm snail blower with a full 360 cooling. Man, those things were so good back in the day. You put an all metal hot end on it, you put the DIII cooler on it. Those things were, and you flashed Safe Marlin on it. Those were like legitimately decent printers. They really were. They just needed a lot of work to become decent. And I laugh because if we ever like start to get in-house staff, because like all of our staff are remote, but if we start to get like physical in-house staff, their first job, I think I have 2 duplicator i3s, but I still have my personal duplicator i3. Their first thing they have to do is learn how to use that printer. Because you need to understand how we struggled back in the day so you can appreciate how good it is today. Damn it. I'm not mad. I'm very mad. But yes, to go back on topic, I want a shredder. I want the shredder more than I want the filament maker. I agree with you, just to, you know, reduce some of the smaller failures into, you know, smaller pieces.
Yeah. I value the shredder more as a
Thanks, Grandpa.
packager, so you can package waste smaller than actually using anything with the waste.
Yeah. I do think it would be nice to, it would be nice to be able to mess with custom materials. So like blending my own TPU mixtures, making my own silk filaments with different ratios to get different colors of silks. That's where I see machines like this working, but they'll have to have like a multi-axis laser system to get decent diameter. Right? The way that Philistruder worked, and the way I assume this is going to work too, Philistruder had a set of lasers and photo sensors. Okay, there was 5 of them, and your spooler was here, your extruder was here, and the filament went down in a loop. Okay, and so when the filament got too far and triggered a lower laser sensor, it would tell the spooler to spool a little bit until it hit one of the higher ones. This is how you controlled things, and gravity was how you controlled your filament diameter. It was jank. The look on your face is like, oh my god, this is what we used to do. Yes. Yes, it is. It's what
I
we
did
used
not
to
realize how bad it was.
but it worked. And, you know, when you're buying filament, and like eventually Wanhao brought out their own filament, and a company that we had partnered with locally bought a container of it, so I was able to buy it relatively cheap. But before that happened, we were taking every single print failure and regrinding it so that we could make new filament, because the cost of buying new filament was so high. We don't have that anymore.
I mean, yeah, filament now, like, if you want to just prototype with, like, a filament,
Yeah.
£12. £12 a kilo.
Yeah. No big deal.
It's so cheap. So cheap.
But now, because of this, you can actually buy raw materials pretty cheap too. Bless you. And that means that you're able to prototype your own blends much easier than anywhere else that it would have been previously. I think that's cool.
I do think that's cool. But I still... It's not selling it for me. Like, I'd do it as a fun project if it was for me, but no.
I don't want it to pay off the machine. I don't think that's going to make sense. I want it to experiment with. I want it to have my own regrind that I will use personally. Like, you know, the camera holder stuff, right? This is made out of Polymakers, Galaxy Orange ABS, right? Did it on the HT90 because Smoke Movie got them. If I had a regrind that I had in the shop and we had qualified it, I'd make it out of the regrind. Who cares? Right? And then I would likely be more... I would probably be more prone to doing pretty projects and not... Oh, okay. I would be prone to do more pretty projects rather than just functional ones. We have a joke right now. Also, Randy Parker, $5 to the Filament Fund. Thank you. Filament Experimentation Fund. Thank you.
I mean, that's enough to get a reel of filament.
So, you know the South Park Shane model that Wexter did?
Yeah.
So, there was a joke on Twitter that Geek Tech and a few others put out that you know, the Prusa Center, they had a large Bulbasaur sitting outside, and overnight it got destroyed. People were breaking it, right? So they said, oh, you should print the big Shane flipping the bird. And I'm like, oh god, I want to do this so bad. Because there's a pretty busy road in my, like, at the back edge of my property.
Mhm.
I want to print a full-size South Park Shane doing that, just flipping off
Yes.
everybody. But then I want to go a step further. Hot Wheels, for a while, made a radar gun that would measure Hot Wheels. Okay? And it had a factor in it that would, adjust to give you real-world speed of your Hot Wheels cars. Super cool. They also have a night vision thing that people put on their firearms, but I want to install a radar gun on it with a PIR sensor, so when a car goes by, it activates the radar gun. So if you have a radar detector,
A little
all of a
radar
sudden,
jam, it just goes off,
No,
and you just see Shane there going.
it wouldn't be a jammer. It would be it would be a radar gun. So if you are running a radar detector, you would get hit with it. I wouldn't care what the number says, but it would be enough to slow down the street racers out back. I think that would be fun. And like, again, I've said it many times. If you're going to go out and go do a hit or a pull on a car once or twice, you're not going to bother me. But if you're out there and you're doing pull after pull after pull for hours, I'm upset. Okay? I get it. This is it's a back road. There's a lot of traffic now, but at night there's not too much traffic, and it's dead straight for over a quarter mile, and it ends on a hill, so it's a really good road to go drag racing on. I get it. But if you're doing like 15 or 20 pulls on your car, come on, dude, go do something else. Like, pissing me off. Yeah, I'm the old man yelling at the street racers now. I get it, but yeah.
See, don't have that problem in the UK.
Yeah,
Our
we
roads
do.
aren't straight enough to do that.
Oh, ours are. Mad
And
Cat
ours
for
have
$10
too many potholes.
for the Filament Fund. But yeah, I estimated like probably 20 kilos of ASA that we would need to print it, and then I would fill it full of concrete. So you can't break it. It would be skinned in ASA, and then I just fill the son of a gun full of concrete.
You should do that just so, like, if somebody tries to drive through it like
Right.
a snowman, it's
Right.
just...
Right.
It's the fire hydrant in the snowman.
Right. You're on my property trying to deface my property. You destroyed your car. That's on you, not on me. Yeah, I want to fill it full of concrete.
It's either that or keep it hollow and just put, like, a wasp hive in the inside of it.
No, I'm not
The
going to
moment someone breaks, it's just pocket wasps.
Sha pocket wasps. And Beer Printer with the $10 for the Florida Man Fund. Thank you all very much. Samboozer says, wait, Grant, you have hills in Florida. Yes, in fact, we have the 5th largest hill in Florida around the corner from the house. I suspect Grant has done this with his mailbox. I live down a private road. So everybody on my street, we own, the property line goes halfway to the road. So it's a private dirt road. So no one really goes down that road. The main road, which is my house, my backyard faces toward that, that's a regular road. And the dirt road's pretty messed up. Like, people don't come down it to do hood rat stuff. And if they did, they'd probably have my 90-year-old neighbor shooting them with shotguns. Because she doesn't put up with crap. Nothing. Zero crap that woman puts up with. Matt Cat says, print it with no infill and pour concrete through the hole in the top. I just want to fill the inside with concrete. Like, print it with like 10% infill. Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay, you have two options. You could do a skin and then fill it completely full of concrete, or you do a solid model with infill, like 2% infill, and then you fill that full of concrete. Which do you do?
For the meme, I would have low infill and fill the part so you have the shell of the part. But if I was doing it professionally, I would just make a mold. And then I'd cast the mold.
I was going to shell it, do like 5 or 6 millimeters of solid ASA, and then the inside would be dead hollow, where we would fill it full of concrete
That I would mix with fiberglass.
Ooh.
Because we ain't messing around. Dreams One with the £2 saying for the spoon collection and the lemon drizzle cake. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's good seeing you, Doug, by the way. Even if it was hot. Keep those kidneys warm for me, buddy. JP Waleka, I think, says, my company recycles because it's cost effective and because it is right. So this is the other problem we have. We don't have municipal recycling out where we are. So I collect the bags of filament waste that I separate so that I can take it to the recycling centers where I have to pay them to take it.
Yeah, no wonder you guys don't have recycling.
Yeah. Reduce, reuse, recycle. It's in that order for a reason. So reduce, hey, that right there, reducing, toolchanger versus AMS, right? That's your reduce. Reuse is making the shredder to reuse the old material. Recycling is simply bringing it to a recycling center. They are selling raw pellets. It's a little expensive, I think, for the raw pellets. It was like 3 kilos for $35, which is $10 a kilo, which is not $5 a kilo, which is what they said it would cost. Yes, larger batches will cost less, but you can buy it on eBay for less. Just go buy raw pellets on eBay.
Yep.
I have PCL pellets sitting over here. I've always wanted to do PCL filament. Do you know PCL? It's a...
Probably...
I don't know what it stands for. PCL, it is a material that has a very, very low melting temperature. It's often used as a plastic modeling clay because to get it to a malleable point where you can like mold it like clay, you put it in hot water. I'm pretty sure
that's the material they do the 3D printing pens with.
No. I mean, some might, but I've never seen filament made out of it because it requires like a sub 100 degrees Celsius nozzle temperature to print it. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've always wanted to make PCL filament. Yeah, it like Sugru. Yes, like Sugru. So, yeah. Polycarpal actone, sure, is a biodegradable, flexible, and biocompatible thermoplastic with very low melting point of approximately, I think it's like 80 or 100 C. It's really low. But yes, polymorph is one of the filaments, but it's not good. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I want to mess with. Like, I want to mess with filaments that we don't normally see. I would love to do a Delrin filament, which I am well aware is dangerous.
No.
I'm well aware it's dangerous. Acetyl acid, right?
I don't care about how dangerous it is. Do you know how hard it is to print Delrin?
I know.
It doesn't stick to anything.
I know.
Not even itself.
I know. But imagine, they're also selling fiber-filled pellets. So in theory, their system can handle fiber-filled materials.
So maybe a fiber-filled Delrin, but that kind of goes against the point of printing Delrin.
Come on!
And you do know what bed material you need to print Delrin, right?
Isn't it clear tape?
No, that's polypropylene. That's the easy one of this. No, Delrin, it's either a bloody plywood or sandpaper.
I got both of those. Those are easy. Both those sit in my garage.
It's not good. And even then it barely sticks.
Nah, man, come on. Think of all the weird thermoplastics out there that we don't have as filament that we totally could. Think about it.
Do you know why we don't have them as filament?
Because no one's bothered.
Probably not worth it.
What about silica gel as filament? Jacob, think about the silica gel. So I can stop eating it and I could start turning it into filament.
So that's it for the Making Awesome podcast today. I think I've had an aneurysm.
I wonder if you could turn silica gel into filament.
I don't think you can, because I don't think it's an actual gel. I think it's a monocrystalline, which means once it's set, it's set.
Never say never, Jacob. Never say never. But yeah, the $900 Kickstarter, whatever, cool. $1,700, a little pricey. Oh,
Silica gel or
okay.
silica beads.
Uh-huh.
The melting temperature on the low end is a nice and achievable 1,710 degrees centigrade.
Oh, that's fine. Just remove the thermistor and put it on a fake hot end or something. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, look, that's what we need the I3s for.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. See? I'm looking at you, Wanhao Duplicator i3, sitting on the lower shelf over there. Your time is coming soon, my son. Laffy Taffy filament and gummy bear filament? Yes.
I'd actually do that. I'd do that.
Florida man intensifies. Push your neck back so you have no neck. It dreams one with the 2 pounds. Thank you, Doug. Greatly appreciated. Jesus Christ. Hey, these shows are fun, okay? They're always fun. And then we saw, through a few creators, which I had never seen capable, the Bambu H2D Pro printing peak.
I've not heard of this, but I am skeptical.
It's Bambu's Peak Pro filament.
Bambu.
I could not find it on their website.
Filament.
I already looked. The H2D Pro has apparently been out for a while. It's like $500 or $600 more than the regular H2D. It comes with a tungsten nozzle and Ethernet, and that's about the only options that make it worth that extra money. But they're claiming that it can print peak. And that means it needs a 400 plus degrees Celsius nozzle, a 140 degrees Celsius plus bed, and in theory, a north of 100 Celsius chamber temperature to print peak properly. But in the video that I found, the print house put out a couple of shorts with it. Their chamber temperature was like 60 to 90 Celsius. That's too low for peak. So I'm assuming it's not real peak.
I'm going to assume it's not peak. It might be like PPA, natural coloring. So
it does look like peak. Like the coloring looks like peak.
Yeah, but so does PCTG look like peak.
Fair. But yeah, calling it Peak Pro tells me it's not pure peak. And just to be clear, if you are looking at this saying, ooh, I would love to be able to print peak, as a business, stop. Seriously. Because when you're printing those god tier thermoplastics, Peak, PEC, Ultem, 9085, 1010, don't care. Those all require material certifications 99 times out of 100 for a business level job. Yeah. Like when we print Peak, we have to provide the full traceability report for that material to the companies we deliver it to. And Peak is often about $1 a gram. So you're looking at a kilo of Peak costing about $1,000 US. It's probably less than that now. 3DX Tech would be the place I would look. Maybe it's like $600 or $700 a kilo. But if Bambu Peak is significantly cheaper than that, it's not real Peak. If you can't get traceability reports, don't use it for things that need traceability. You will get sued when it inevitably fails. And often Peak, PEC, and Ultem are used as end-use mission-critical components. And the last thing that your insurance will cover for you is you knowing that it wasn't right, you still making the part, people dying from it, and you getting sued. Don't be stupid.
Well, if you're playing in the big boy game of needing Peak, you play by big boy rules.
Yes.
And that requires safety certification.
Yes.
And just general certification. You can't just be like, it's good enough. Because normally, if it's in Peak, it's life critical.
Good enough doesn't work with you need traceability reports. If you are buying Ultem and it doesn't come with a traceability report that traces it back to Sabic Incorporated or Sabic Enterprises, whatever they call it, it's not certified Ultem. Because they're the only ones that have that access to that name. You can get polyetheramide from other companies. But if you want certified Ultem, it has to come from Sabic. Last I checked, at least. Rexit82 with the $2 saying, drive by Twizzler superiority claim, 2 left. Yeah, that's right. 2 left till we hit our goal for the stream of 10 super chats that help keep these streams ad-free for you all. And hey, while we're doing a bit of an ad, check out the sponsors. Printed Solid 3D Primo, who's sponsoring the filament giveaway this week. Thank you very much for that. 3D Musketeers and Construct3D, all of them are linked in that description down below. Yeah, T-Brum says, last thing you need is your name on an FAA or FRA report. As a general business thing, I try to avoid 3-letter organizations. Don't make them come to you. Just don't do it. Is it cool? Hell yeah, it's cool. Seeing peak at a lower cost machine works. I like that idea. But even the HT90 can't print big peak parts. They only certify it for like 2 inches above the build plate because you can heat the build plate really high and get that little area of the chamber nice and hot. But after that, you're going to get layer separation on peak because it's going to cool too fast. So, yeah. TD Shep 885 says, what are some examples of peak prints that meet the criteria of what you're warning against? I mean, airplane parts. Airplane parts are often peak or Ultem because those are certified by the FAA for end use flight in airplanes. It's
they're naturally flame resistant, they're chemical resistant, they're one of the strongest, toughest, baddest filaments you can print with. And the spenniest. Anything that's life critical or could be life critical, it's in peak or
don't F around.
That's it.
Right? It's like we're making they just sent me a new file, so I have to requote it, but we're gonna be making some airplane parts for a customer. My first question whenever a company that calls us to ask about airline parts is this an experimental aircraft? Because if the aircraft is experimental, we don't have to follow FAA guidelines. We can make it out of whatever material they want. If it is not an experimental aircraft and must go through a certification process, you are hard limited to peak, sometimes PEC, and Ultem 9085 specifically. Sometimes you can get away with 1010, but almost always it's 9085. You will need big machines to print that. Your Bambu will not print that. Sorry, it doesn't.
And in reality, if you're printing parts that need that material, don't cheap out on the machine when the filament costs the same as your machine. It's not worth it. There's a reason some bolts cost $1,000 a bolt.
That's right.
You don't cheap out in the aviation world. Same with the military.
On mission critical components, you don't cheap out. Like, I'm not going to Amazon to find, the cheapest seatbelt that I can for my car. Okay? Like, I'm not doing that. Sorry, it's not happening.
Yeah, that's eBay. That's what eBay's for.
Absolutely. Or a junkyard, obviously. So we got a question about how's it going with the HT90. What have we been making? We've been making feet stuff. I actually have to film a bit for the HT90 unboxing video with those legs when we're done with the stream.
Can we officially call you a feet man now?
Hey, for the amount of money that I'm getting paid for those, you can call me whatever the hell you want. And yes, Rexit, it's actually a Das Boot thing. Although they're calling it the Saki because it is for... I can't tell you the company name, but if the company name happens to show up on the screen... Whatever, man. Whatever. There's nothing saying that I can't show what we're doing. I can't talk about specifically who it's done for. There's nothing in the NDA that states I can't show it.
Well, no, you were just showing a random product that you quite enjoyed.
It's also public now.
It had no coincidental link.
It's also public now, so yeah, whatever. So yeah, that's what we're doing the HT90 with. And these airplane parts that came in. So it is an experimental aircraft, so I've given them 2 prices. One for ASA, one for I think it's either a carbon or a glass-filled ASA. That's going to come from Soraya Tech. We're going to get that from Soraya Tech if they want. So they're going over a few different options for this plane right now, and some of it is they're just going to use the parts as molds to create carbon. Fine. Then I'm making it out of PETG or ABS or regular ASA. if they want end use parts, I'm going to push them toward the carbon because it will look a lot nicer in the plane. Yeah, it will also look a lot nicer in the plane. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a significant portion of the price of the machine. Retail price being paid off. It is over 10% of the cost of the machine in those parts that we've quoted.
Wow.
So
That's impressive.
Once the foot thing fully pays out, the machine will be fully paid off. So we did it in less than 90 days. It's funny because in theory, if the check clears before the video goes out, we will have paid for the machine before we release the video about paying for the machine.
Okay, that is quite funny.
Mind you, it took a while to get through editing, but that's fine. So Sembazuru said, are the airplane parts structural or what? It's not so much about structural, it's about liability, right? The FAA says it must be fire retardant. It must be, certain
Chemically
materials,
resistant.
heat resistant. Yeah, it must meet all these criteria because in the event of an onboard fire in an aircraft, you want to be very certain that it can be contained quickly, right? GP3 Designs talked about, comparing the H2D to a 22 INDX. Vision Miner, hook it up. We're happy to. We'll do another 90-day challenge to pay off a 22 INDX. I don't care. Let's do it. I would love to put those two machines side by side because I think that it would it'd be more fun than most people think. So, but yeah, we printed some Ultim 1010 the other day. Printed Peak on it before. It's fun. But yeah, what are your feelings on Bambu even tickling the idea of a high temp printer?
I hate it.
Why?
I hate it.
Why?
Mostly because they're encroaching on my territory yet again. Every time we do a new thing, Bambu Lab are like,
well, okay,
let's take that.
Again, given what the H2D Pro can do, there's no way it's pure Peak.
No, there's not. But in reality, the thing that I don't like about it the most is the misinformation that comes with saying it can print Peak.
Right.
Because to me and you, we know it can't. It
Right.
physically can't. The temperatures aren't high enough. It's not stable enough. It's not suitable for the job position. It's not anything. What you know it's for is for that one marketing manager who doesn't know actually what they're doing, who's been told, we need to print this material, and they see Bambu Lab has a thing, and this is another way for Bambu Lab to get their machine in big industry.
Yep.
Which is definitely not a data security issue point, and is kind of scary. It's this false marketing, and I hate false marketing the most. It's when, I'm going to say Bambu Lab again, because they do it, but so do a load of other companies. Claim speeds you can never reach.
Yep.
Brilliant. My printer can move at 800 millimeters per second, but you've put a 0.4 nozzle in it, and it's got a 30 mil melt chamber, meaning it is categorically limited in the thinnest plastic we can get.
But what if I'm
to
doing
being
0.05 millimeter layers?
Even worse. Because when you're that thin, your flow rate is not working as it used to.
Really?
So you can't even get the higher flow rates.
I figured you could. Okay. I see this just
it's
shows
pressure advance. The pressure advance when you get to those ultra low thin layers, you can technically flow it, but you end up with just like weird under extrusion artifacts where the material is so close to the material below, it's pulling it out the nozzle instead of pushing it out the nozzle. So you end up with extrusion issues. Which is why people with smaller nozzles tend to print slower.
It's funny, we don't really go much lower than 0.1 unless it's like really asked. So it's like it's not something I've thought of. Like that it makes sense in theory, like what you're saying, but I've never tested it in practice, and now I'm a bit upset by this. Thank you, Jacob, for ruining my day.
You're welcome. I love ruining your day. It's my job.
But
gives me immense pleasure.
I appreciate that Bambu is doing another Pro machine, right? Where it can be on Ethernet if you want it, because there is an Ethernet on the H2D. The Pro has it. Once again, they're charging you a exorbitant fee to keep it off a network, basically. So, but I also know those machines are going to sell like hotcakes to industry because that's what industry wants. Now, we are seeing some changes right now. So, recently the change was implemented where government agencies cannot buy Chinese-made products, period, right? That includes 3D printers. So I'll be curious to see if Bambu can find a way around this, because otherwise you're limited to like a handful of companies that can, Construct3D, Prusa, Lulzbot. Is Maker Gear still in business? Zax. It goes to like your boutique printer builders and Prusa, right?
Yeah.
If you get rid of China, it is nothing but your boutique printer builders and Prusa. That's it. So it's like, well, wait. That means a lot of your innovation is gone too. Like, love it or hate it, China's pushed the innovation. And Vision Miner, obviously. Yes, thank you. Although, are Vision Miners made in America? I don't know where they're
I thought
made.
that was their whole shtick. I'm going to Google that.
I don't know. I think they're too cheap to be made in America. Maybe they're finally assembled in America. They're probably TAA compliant, the Transformative Alliance, whatever the hell it's called. Ultimaker's in there too. Yep. Goner Milegis said, I would worry about Bambu. I would worry about a Bambu Peak capable printer. I don't know if I have a print farm at home that I use only my cell phone for. People should not be the ones printing with industrial parts. I mean, there is some part of that I can understand, but then we also have to say, well, wait a minute. That's also gatekeeping, right? But I've adopted this theory that publicly gatekeeping is bad, but privately there are some reasons that gatekeeping exists. And when it comes to higher end stuff, you know what? I can understand some level of gatekeeping because of the knowledge base that is required to do it correctly. Because, dude, if you screw this up, you're having a bad day. Like, they'll take your house.
They'll take more than that. They take your entire future.
Your insurance won't protect you, and you will likely pierce the corporate veil doing it. Because, like, if you're printing Peak that you're certifying as Peak on a Bambu, you likely don't know what a corporate veil is either. So you might be running a sole proprietorship. I would think that you'd be piercing a veil at that point, and now all of your assets, your personal assets, are open. So GP3 Design said also this should not be a kick in the butt for US companies to get their act together and start making proper machines. Might be a long and painful process, but it feels like a necessary step. I would agree that it is a necessary step, but until the US gets out of Chinese silicon, right, the chips that come out of China, you're not going to get around the problem.
And I don't see that problem going away soon. Like, silicon it's a very rare material for the scale of the industry.
Yes.
There's a reason we all now use Chinese silicon is because it doesn't really get mined anywhere else.
Nobody else makes it, right? China has invested so much money into the infrastructure. And Jacob, we saw this firsthand going to Shanghai, which is not your big like silicon manufacturing area, but you look at the area and you're like, oh yeah, this makes total sense. You look at the cars like, oh, this makes total sense. The US, UK, EU, whatever, it will take them decades to catch up.
And that's assuming they can even have the raw deposits in their territory, which China has tons of raw deposits of silicon.
Buy the raw material from
Europe generally
elsewhere,
doesn't.
Right? You buy the raw silicon from somewhere else. Now we're dealing with helium shortages because of the conflicts with the Middle East and Iran and the US being morons and all of that.
Helium has been running out quite quickly for a while.
Right, but it's now blocked.
Yeah, people are going to realize why investing in fusion was not a stupid idea, because fusion reactors are actually not supposed to be power generators. They're supposed to be helium generators, because we're running out of helium. You know, the things that make chip manufacturing possible,
'Cause it's the
or
cooling.
MRI machines possible, or any other of the high-tech equipment that we use needs helium, and helium is kind of the big one now. Also, for John S., fusion is incredibly easy and very close. The problem is they're always focusing on trying to make power from fusion instead of considering it as a helium generation source. And that's like one of the big things. I could go into like the physics.
Reactor.
I'm waiting for the joke.
No, I have. Farnsworth Hirsch meets
Okay.
Caesar. Yeah.
Huh.
It doesn't produce power. I mean, it glows and produces X-rays, which is totally safe. But it uses deuterium, right? The
I mean,
heavy
if
water.
you saw a single white little pixel spark in the corner of your eye when looking at it, that was a fusion reaction.
No. See, you do it inside of an old leaded glass, and you're generally fine.
Nah, you just kind of like squint and be like, my body will be grey.
It's 3.6 rotogens. It's not good, but it's not bad, but it's not good. Will he get the reference? Let's see if he
Yes,
gets
I
it.
get the reference. Chernobyl is a very obvious reference.
Thank you.
Makes me want to go watch the HBO series again.
I know,
'cause it was
I'm
so
watching
damn
it
good.
again.
Oh,
It's
it's so good.
It's so good. So good.
They did such a good job on that.
But yeah, you can make a Farnsworth Hirsch Meeks fuser at home. They're dangerous, obviously. They require like microwave oven transformers and things like
Yeah,
that. to
you
get
need
running.
one microwave, 2 toasters, a vacuum pump, and preferably a leaded glass dome bell, so you don't irradiate yourself. But you could too make a fusion reactor in your home,
Yeah.
and it will do fusion, just not very efficiently.
Not very efficiently. And I made it when I was working at the local science center to show fusion energy like to people. It was really cool.
I literally teared up when I made mine because of how pretty it was.
It's a very pretty blue glow. It's really pretty, but you don't want to stare at it very long.
No, the irradiation. I didn't realize the higher the voltage that goes, the more X-rays, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I should probably put that down. I'm feeling a tingle between my teeth.
Yeah, Soundspark says you can get them 100 million degrees needed. No, you don't need that hot. But there are, look up a Farnsworth Hirsch Meeks fuser. You can make them at home. Just don't be stupid. Everything about them can kill you and will hurt the entire time you're dying. Just don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
But yeah, just for everyone watching, fusion, not hard. Cost-effective fusion that generates power as a surplus, that's hard. And that's what most of these fusion reactor companies are aiming for, is the power generation side. In reality, if we made a fusion reactor focused just on helium production, it would be much easier. All it needs is helium to be more expensive, and then it will be profitable. If you double the price of helium, the return of investment of a fusion reactor halves. So,
And just, for the energy geeks, where are my thorium light water girlies? Come on, leave a like for the thorium reactors. Hell yeah.
see, I'm a Polywell boy. I like my Polywell reactors.
Thorium. It can never Chernobyl. It can never
Neither can
Chernobyl. It's
no
cold.
fusion reactor.
It's not fusion, it's fission.
But I'm just saying, no fusion reactor can Chernobyl. Ever.
Well,
And
okay.
you know what else? Modern micro fission reactors physically can't either. There's a new Chinese one that uses like balls of uranium, and because when they heat up and they cool down, they shrink and expand, the heat itself, when they expand, creates enough of an air gap to regulate themselves.
Huh. That's cool.
So they're going to put them in like shipping containers, so they can put them in like fields and power a house with like 100 megawatt for 10 years, and then they have to recycle them. Really cool. Like
Interesting.
micro, like modular nuclear reactors, really cool.
And scoot a little to your right, if you don't mind.
To the oh yeah, ooh,
You're right.
ooh,
Thank
ooh,
you.
scoot
Perfect.
it.
Right there. So yeah, but apparently this machine's been out for months. Just no one's known much about it, apparently. I don't know. Glenn says that little Chernobyl's never hurt anyone. Well, anyone that's still alive, at least.
But I'm a Polywell fusion boy. I like my little cube of sun.
I don't like the sun in general.
But it's pretty.
Dude, we got Amber and I got sunburned in Prague.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
The Floridians got sunburnt in Prague? What an embarrassment.
It wasn't that bad. It was like, oh, it was really sunny and we were outside for a while, but the temperature was so lovely. Yeah, we were both a little pink the next day. It was fine. It was gone by midday the next day. And we found a really nice thrift store, and Amber got a great pair of hiking boots that might have been worn once or twice, Jacob, for 109 Czech crowns. It's $5. $5.
I want to go to Prague again. I want to go to Prague.
I think the next trip out there and the EU in general will be Formnext, I think. But
well, I'll make sure I've got my shackles in order, and I need to get my passport renewed. I'm unfortunately going down from my pretty red passport to the icky blue passport.
What about your Chinese visa? What happens with that? Does it go to the new one?
I think it does.
Okay.
I'm going to have to find out.
Yeah.
But the UK now gets 60-day free visas to China.
Yeah.
So I'm like
you're at
yay,
war
we
with
spent all
everybody.
that time and effort to go to China, and then 2 months later they're like, you could just come.
Hey, it's part of the deal. I would say let's go to your big announcement, and then we'll finish with Index. But
Yeah.
you released a new product, which I don't have.
Oh. Why not?
HT90 has it.
Oh.
So I don't think it's gonna be possible to really bundle it with any other machines other than the Prusa Pro line. So I showed it to the HT90 people, and they were very excited. So
brilliant.
I gave it to them.
Oh, fantastic.
Also, Jacob, it was like 4 kilos. I didn't have room for it. Like I had to
4 kilos.
2 glass bottles at 500 milliliters each.
No, they're 150 milliliters each.
I don't think they were that big or that small. I thought they were
Yeah,
larger.
they're like that big.
Well,
like that.
The HT90 people loved it.
Brilliant.
So let's talk about this. It's called AllClean.
Yep, AllClean.
So what is
It's a new high-performance bed cleaner specifically designed to get rid of the issues of IPA on PEI and the soap and waters on PEI, because all of them do a good job, but especially if like you talk to some of the bigger print farmers, after about a year of religious cleaning, like really good behavior cleaning, the PEI just stops working. And it was that coupled with like with you saying you polish yours and that you've been struggling with moisture, and then I was looking at like most of the failure cases for like Bambu Lab printers and everything is a dirty bed. There's this entire market segment of, well, it's the bed cleaner. Like we don't have a dedicated bed cleaner. We recommend rubbing alcohol or Windex. And there's not really a middle ground. There should be something designed for the industry that we're doing that isn't just a rebadge of something else.
Right.
So we looked at the polymer science and we realized, well, IPA doesn't actually remove the oil.
No, and it can damage certain print
it.
materials or certain print beds.
Yeah, and it thins it. It massively thins the oil down enough that it works again, but it doesn't fully get rid of it, and it can slowly harden the oils. Windex is basically only available in America. Ammonia-based cleaners are an American, easier to get. In Europe, it's really hard to get. The soaps and the waters, because soap is generally just pure surfactant, it binds really heavily chemically to PEI, which you can remove some of it, but eventually it permanently binds, and then you have to scrub your beds again. So we took this step back and we were like, half the failure case in our printers when we get like damage reports is first layer issues that have been deemed as bed cleaning faults.
Right.
Other companies are the same. Everyone seems to have to keep buying the beds and they have to keep changing things, and it's generally not a good time, especially when a bed doesn't necessarily fail, meaning it doesn't stick. It just means things can warp more.
Right.
Or they can fall off every now and again.
So this fixes it.
Yeah. It resets chemically PEI back to being factory standard, instead of it being partially bound with surfactants or with like thin layers of hardened oil, it resets PEI to being chemically clean. And because it's such a good cleaner, it also works on your glass and your like plastic beds and your like polyurethane beds as well. So we spent a hot minute on this. Ironically, it was only Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday we finalized the exclusive chemical supply for the entire 3D printing industry from the sole provider of the chemicals in the industry. So nobody else can even come close to the blends or the efficacy that we've got. And we're running with it. We're so happy with how this is turning out.
Good.
And that's what we're doing. AllClean. So it's a 2-part bottle. You've got 2 bottles. One is AllClean and one is ready to print. AllClean gets rid of all the gunk and all like the glues and the adhesives and the sugars and the oils. And you wipe it off and then you spray on your part 2, which is ready to print, which is mostly for the sake of it, just water and a couple little spicy things to make it work a bit better. And that helps remove the surfactant left over from the AllClean to reset it perfectly back to factory standard. And that's it. Simple. Spray, wipe, spray, wipe. You're good to go.
Yep. Yeah, so I used it a few times at Prusa. So we were just like, we were messing around with it on some of their like random machines and offices, and bro, like I took a build plate and rubbed my face with it, okay? And I have enough oil on my skin that I'm surprised the US hasn't invaded my body yet. And did the AllClean on it and then ready to print, and perfect.
It just works.
Yeah. And the person with me is like, wait, this is an older machine. I'm like, yep. It just works. Now, I haven't tested it on the nylon print beds, which very clearly say do not clean with IPA. So I don't know if it's going to mess those up.
AllClean is not an IPA. There is no ethyl alcohols in AllClean at all. There is a small amount, like less than 10% in the ready to print.
Yeah.
And that's mostly as an evaporation aid. It also just helps with that, just in case there was a little bit of surfactant left over. The other little additives, they do their job, but just like a little bit of alcohol speeds up the process. Otherwise, you're waiting for it to evaporate. And if you're doing it on a cold bed, it can take like a minute. But it should be fine for nylons. It doesn't degrade a lot of stuff.
You've got a lot of people here that are excited for this. When is it going to be available for purchase?
We are hoping next week. We were supposed to have it ready for this show, and then our website just decided to go, everyone goes taxless. And obviously we still have to pay tax. So we can't really send it live yet. But we've just had our next shipment of bottles arrive. They're already labeled. They're ready to go out in boxes. We're working on like even getting like more optimized boxing, so they go through people's post like letter boxes, so it just slides on through, because we chose the bottle to fit, and then we realized the packaging doesn't. So we're gonna get a custom dyed cardboard box to make that work. We're even working, and this is a bit weird, we're working on our own white label of our own chemical that isn't as aesthetically pleasing for the people who have like print farms where they just want a big 750ml bottle. They don't care about it being this nice cute little glass thing for your designer printer, which is the Construct3D brand. You just want it for anything else. You get a nice little spray bottle and you go and it works.
Yeah, I'll have to get some of the concentrate from you and mix it up here, but yeah, don't forget to mention the UN cert. It is UN certified.
Yep. Fully UN certified, fully NHS certified as well.
Yep.
It's already passed all of its safety tests, its biotesting. It's a registered Safer Spaces chemical. It's also vegan. You'll be surprised at how many cleaning chemicals
Why
aren't
would it
vegan.
be vegan?
A lot of cleaning chemicals are derived from biological, like, living components.
That's like saying that PLA is vegan and it upsets me. Or gluten-free. You know, PLA's gluten-free. Hey, it's gluten-free too. Put that on there, Jacob.
No, 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 no. Maybe.
I
I
don't
mean, we
care.
do have halal on it because it is also halal. It's not derived from unethically sourced
Care about that.
components.
It just needs to clean beds well. And from my, albeit very minimal testing, it worked really well. So is there a known price yet for this?
So at the moment, because of like all the feedback we're getting, we're actually lowering the price from what we initially wanted, because we've got the quantity. We didn't expect it to be as popular as it was, which means we can start already with the bulk buy like discount on packaging. At the moment, we're aiming for under $20.
Oh,
So just at
okay.
that line, we've already been able to drop it by like 30% from the last time I told you,
Yeah.
where we were aiming at like the $28 mark. Just
Last we
because of
talked, it
how
was like
expensive it was.
35.
Yeah. So yeah, £28, $35.
Yeah, and I had some pushback on that. I'm like, that's really expensive, Jacob. Like, the only thing I'm using that for is like our high-end printers.
But no, we're able to get it lower. And for everyone asking, it's 300 mil total. So you get 150 mil of the part 1 and 150 mil of part 2. They work together. But it's well worth it. It goes a long way.
Yep.
And especially when you want your prints to work, you
Like,
kind of need a clean bed.
I spray Windex like I don't pay for my brake clean, right? Like, I just spritz the build plates like it's going out of style because it's so cheap I don't care. But when following the directions, there are actual directions on how to use this stuff. When following the directions, it worked really well. And I'm like, that was just like no big deal. Just a little bit. It didn't need much. And I mean, literally, it looked like, other than the scratches on the build plate that were already there, it looked like a factory brand new build plate. So will it will eat through Vision Miner, right? So if you have Vision Miner on your bed, it'll mess that up.
So it eats through your PVAs and your PVBs. It eats through your hairsprays, which is generally just like a powderized version of PVB. Eats through your Vision Miner, because again, a lot of the feedback we were getting was people add adhesion aids, but then the adhesion aids get contaminated, and then how do you get rid of an adhesion aid if it's stuck to your bed? So it helps with that. It will help remove everything. So, and that was the goal. It's an all clean. It cleans all. Also, when you get your own, try putting it on like your hob or like your cooker, because it's such a powerful surfactant. It takes off carbon deposit like nothing.
No, I want that on my carbon steel stuff.
Okay, not that, but it will clean everything. Like, we've got like a range gas cooker, and obviously food falls onto it and it kind of bakes on. Just one spray of this and it comes straight off. No fighting. I put it on all my pots and pans now because it's so good.
So we got to get you a US reseller or distributor. There are questions of, is it going to be 3D Musketeers? I don't think we have the space for it realistically. I can look. There might be some opportunities where we might have space, but I don't think we would hold more than like 50 packages in inventory at any time, just because it's going to take up a lot of space for us. So you and I would have to determine like what a ship quantity makes sense to do it, make sure there's enough meat on the bone for us, and then, yeah, we could look at it. But, someone like Fabrico, West 3D, Printed Solid, plenty of companies out there that could carry it here in the States as well. So
yeah, and I'm just really happy with how this has ended. Like, having exclusive rights to the base chemicals for an entire industry, huge.
Yep.
It kind of like safety nets us to being this. Like, and for anyone watching that's in big industry, yes, we are open for white labeling, because we've got this huge ass chemical plant backing us, and they're like, we got this chemical, you're basically the only guy who saw the use case of it, you can have all of it. So we've got bottling, packaging, labeling, we've got the filling stations, we can do different blends. We've done a load of research on the blends, so if you want to talk to us about it, we can tell you why going pure is not what you want. You want to cut it down, which is why ours is cut down, because otherwise it's too strong. Like, literally, like 4 drops is enough to clean half your house of like the hyper concentrated stuff. It's that strong. And Omar Garcia saying, so is it edible? It is NHS certified for consumption.
Don't eat it.
Don't eat it. It does taste like ass, and you will be farting bubbles.
Oh, but man, this is better than colonoscopy prep. Will it just clean me out from top to bottom?
I did try it because I like to try everything that whenever somebody says it's certified for something, I will double check it. I wasn't ill, but my stomach had some of the most intense cramping possible because it was flushing everything out. But they're like, yeah, it works. It was great. Oh, and we've even started... This is new. This is exclusive to 3D Musketeers knowledge. We might actually be starting a second chemical line. Specifically for dentists. So for 3D printed dental molds, one of the problems that we found is the only chemicals you can buy for cleaning and sterilizing the parts is ridiculously expensive at like $85 a litre.
Yeah.
Ridiculously expensive. With us working with this chemical supplier, they are insane and terrible at marketing. And they've come out with basically it's a copper infused surfactant cleaner, again biologically safe and fully tested, that can get rid of bacteriological contaminants down to log 7.
I don't know most of what you just said, but it sounds interesting.
So you know, like on a bottle it says it kills 99.9% of bacteria?
Yeah.
This is 99.999999999 log 7.
That's
and it will be cheaper than $60 a
so I shouldn't raw dog the purple wipes that they're from the hospital anymore. Damn it. That's a joke. Please don't do that. That can cause birth defects.
Yeah,
that's a joke. So it's those 0.0000001% of super bacteria you have to be worried about.
But yeah, we're working on making a very custom blend for the dental 3D printing industry because we didn't realize how bad it was until we talked to this one guy who was like, yeah, I run several things. We don't have a solution for this, and it's really expensive from the OEMs themselves. And we're like, well, we have a chemical company that makes some of the best stuff on the planet. We could just merge 2 product lines together where it's got all the cleaning capacity, but also the sterilization capacity as well. And bam, medical grade 3D printer bed cleaner.
There's Matt Cat. He said, we use the purple top wipes at work all the time. They smell like you would imagine harsh chemicals to smell. The amount of warnings on those purple top wipes are like, this is you should not. Like, I want like triple glove action on this, you know? But no, this is really cool because chemicals, like, if you are saying, well, I'm spending only this much on my bed cleaner, why would I buy this? You're probably not the target audience. If you are a business and you need consistency, you need everything to work the same way constantly, you're the target market for this. I found that, like, we have 4 machines right now with nanopolymer adhesive on the beds. I don't touch them. Once the prints are cool, you can literally hear the parts like releasing. I'm like, okay, plate goes back into the machine to warm back up because we keep the machines at temperature pretty much 24/7. That works great. But on machines that don't have NPA, I'm specifically looking at my XL. This would be huge, right? Absolutely huge. And the nanopolymer adhesive, I have a big bottle. It's like this big. And it's like $40 for that big ass bottle. This is way more affordable. Now, it's a cleaner. It's not a glue. But it's really cool. I would also try to look, if you're having a cleaner, you should also now have an adhesive. If you're not already working on that, put that into your queue.
It is noted on my little notebook of things that I want to work on next.
Yeah.
In reality, I need to look into nanopolymer adhesive a bit more because I don't want to step on their toes. Because if they've done something great, the one thing that I want as a company is not to take anyone's thunder and just rebadge it.
NPA is really, really good. What I like the most about the NPA is it works on any plastic. But on the higher end plastics, it tends to come off with the plastic. Right? So on PLA and PETG, you get like, I think 2 or 3 dozen prints before you start to see it coming up off the build plate. When I'm printing Peak or Ultem on the HT90, every single print has to be redone. Every single print. But that's acceptable because, again, the cost of what your prints cost, you don't care that you're putting $1 worth of glue down every single time. Who cares? Right? It's no big deal.
Yeah.
So I know there's 3D lack. I guess Hyperlock is another one. I have really only messed with nanopolymer adhesive, the Vision Miner NPA, and that is specifically for adhesives. It's like, I used to use Aquanet back in the day. I've used Glue Stick before too, but purpose-made 3D adhesives, I've only messed so far with nanopolymer. I have some 3D lack, but I haven't had the need to use it yet. And yes, Chris Catlett, thank you for calling me out on this, especially now that you aren't using a paper towel to spread it around.
I mean, I'm a paper towel person. If it can't work with the most easy things,
no, it gets
shouldn't work.
sucked up into the paper towel, Jacob, and doesn't go onto your build plate.
Just use more. Soak the
No.
paper towel and use that as the applicator.
No. You go to your local dollar store and you get a silicone spatula. Or a silicone.
That's so smart.
I know! And Chris said that. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so stupid. So I went down to the local $1.25 tree, which looks like they're going to the $1.50 tree soon. Any business that can raise their prices by 50% in 5 years and still get away with it is amazing to me. And I got a silicone, like, scraper spatula. Works great. Works great. And I am pissed of how long I've been using. Like, I have a paper towel that looks pink because it has so much nanopolymer adhesive in it.
Mike Jones in the comments saying I had a great PI sheet that I never had issues with adhesion until recently. Now I'm a glue guy. That's what the chemical is for.
Yep.
The fact that you had something great, it stopped working, you have to now use an adhesive, is where the pain point was, and we fixed it. That's the whole point of this, is eventually the glues will fail, and then you're scraping the top surface with like a Brillo pad, or with Scotch-Brite, or with Magic Eraser, and it kind of works, but you're just delaying the inevitable. You're damaging your PEI to re-show up raw PEI. And chemically not great.
Do you know Mike Jones's phone number? I hate that you're so young. You don't know this. You don't know this. There's a rapper named Mike Jones who put out a song that had his phone number, and it's 281-330-8004. That is his number. And it is his real number. It's not the commenter, Mike Jones, but I every time he comments something, they have 281-330-8004.
Tell me you have the tism without telling me you have the tism.
It's just...
Lineax with what's the shelf life of AllClean? Indefinite.
As long as you keep the bottle sealed forever.
Yeah. Even if it starts to evaporate, you can refill it with preferably not tap water. Use at least bottled water.
Do you have any of the bottles handy to show them on camera?
No, because we're an hour early because of daylight savings. I was going to go to the factory just before this to get some, but I do have a sleeve. There we go. AllClean. There's the sleeve. There's the UN logo. It's a sleeve. I have no bottles with me. I have a picture of them, but they're in the Discord. If people want to see the Discord, whether you can see the pictures, $5 tier or higher. Got to be a shill for the channel.
The Discord, the $10 tier or higher.
Bollocks.
Where we will be having a live hangout after this. I will be there. I don't know if you will be, but I will be there.
Might be.
I have to film a quick bit for a video, and then I'll probably do it. Well, I won't move my camera, but you'll likely be able to hear it on audio. I got to film a bit for the HT90 unboxing video, and then I'll be hanging out for a little bit. But yeah, I think it's a product that I think the industry's needed for a while, especially for the B2B, B2G, B2E businesses out there. You need this stuff. I wish I could have brought it home. I simply
I can send you some.
I had
I
the
will send
physical
you some.
space. I didn't have the weight. I thought we were gonna dump some extra weight, but it wasn't as much as I thought because I forgot that some of that was in my backpack and not in our luggage. So,
Yeah.
wait,
But no, like,
Jay Waller 89 is waiting for you to reply to my email with a Discord link. What? Dude, DM me on Discord at 3D Musketeers on Discord. You should have that. You check your spam? Because I normally get back to the Discord people almost instantly.
yeah, Grant's normally quite fast on that.
The printed
Unlike
stuff,
Filament spools,
I'm behind.
Discord, he's fast
So
on.
behind.
But no, I have another thing for you. It's something that we haven't advertised yet, but it's something we're testing the water with because I'm not sure if it will be popular, but I know I want it, and I think you'd want it too.
Okay.
It's a non-alcohol, safe to use resin cleaner. Because I have that terrible resin lab that's got resin everywhere and it's permeated every surface.
Yep.
And cleaning every surface will require me going around with 99% ISO on every surface and wiping it down and having
just
proper
released
contamination
one, too,
control.
For reference.
Did they?
Yeah. You saw it. Or wait, you might have left.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there for the SLX video, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Oh yeah. So we got to see that with the SLX video, their new cleaner. Yeah.
Damn it. I'm developing one. I've tested one so far, one blend of it. We're on the second blend at the moment. So you know how my surface has like literally like a millimeter coating of resin on it at all times? Yeah. It cleaned it straight to the base. One spray straight to the base came off.
You need to talk to Chris Catlett on this. He's going to be the expert to reach out to for that kind of thing. But you know, I'm at this weird crossroads. We don't get a lot of resin parts anymore because, one, I've made the minimum so high that unless you're a business, you're not getting resin from us, right? It's $250 minimum to do resin parts with us. So unless you're doing a big order of stuff, it doesn't make sense. But it is so laborious. It is so laborious. We don't have a good method that removes the exposure to toxicity for the resin. Yes, a cleaner that's not alcohol based will be nice, but still, I am like so close to saying we're just gonna divest from resin and move on. JP, well, like I said, as Zioneer Systems is providing peak to Bambu, then to read the following, we'll post it eventually, I'm assuming. Yeah, he's in the Discord. It's fine. He's in the Discord. And it looks like I have a pending friend. Hey, that guy. I'm going to accept it. Yeah. I'm going to message him. And I'm going to invite him to the server so he can be in the Discord server. I'm literally doing this right now. Right effing now. Because apparently he never got my email. I'm almost positive I replied to this, but I can sometimes be a real pain in the ass on that. So there.
Also,
just invited
intense
right
shifter
now, live.
With reverse osmosis is good for good for making good water. You're right. Our water supply for all the chemicals is reverse osmosis because it is the purest water you can get with no contaminants.
Yes. RODI, I assume, right? Reverse osmosis and deionized?
Yep.
Glenn, just DM me on Discord. I'll get you in. DM just at 3D Musketeers on Discord. I also never got your email. You never said you would. What?
I think that one's just someone trying to get a free invite.
Oh, you also never said you would. Oh, okay. I think that's someone trying to get a free invite. Yeah. Yes, we do pay gate our Discord, and that can be a form of gatekeeping, but we do it to keep a smaller community. We do it to maintain a more business focused Discord to help others make money too, and because I don't want to deal with spammers. Pretty much that reason. And yes, RO wastes a lot of water. I know it does. And yes, I am providing a service. Yes, all the time we are helping people get
Yep.
better prints, and I'm spending like hours helping people. I'm like, no, I need to get paid for my time. Sorry, needs to happen.
But yeah, going back to topic, when I send you some bottles, you should just try it on regular surfaces as well, like pots and pans. Like if you've got like dirt in a pot that has been there for a couple of days, just comes off immediately.
I generally don't, Jacob.
Wow. I'm
It
not
might
that
now.
good.
Is it soaking in the sink for an undisclosed amount of time? Possibly. Is it sitting dry on the counter? No. No, it's not. James Mullen with the $5 say Discord is worth it. I think.
Damn right.
Wait a minute. Is this the same? I think. James, are you the one that sent me the pins? I think that's the James that sent me the pins. Because if it is, I need to show them off real quick. Is that? I think that's the same guy. If it is, we'll see. No, it's in pounds, so it's probably not.
Yes, I have used it as an oven cleaner.
Yeah, you can use it as pretty much anything you want.
It's all clean for a reason. It cleans all really
you're
effectively.
the James from Smurf. Okay, so we have a member in our Discord who happens to be a photographer for the Olympics. And when I told him that is super cool, and if he has any pins, I'd love to buy some, like the older pins, or even new ones, he's like, oh, I got you. Jacob, I have like...
Please don't tell me.
I have
Please
real, like, Olympic... It'll focus,
Oh!
eventually. Focus! This is from Tokyo.
I'm so jealous.
I've got a bunch of them from Tokyo. I've got... Here's... Oh, this is another one from Tokyo. There's another Tokyo pin. There you go.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. And he made some. He 3D printed some this year. There you go for Milan. It's, dude, like here's a one from Rio. It'll focus, maybe. Don't see my face. Jesus Christ. There you go, Rio. Yes, I got a bunch of pins from the Olympics, and that's super cool. So I'm gonna be sending him some pins too. So I have the Victoria pins, obviously, that I'm gonna send him, but I picked up some pins when we were in Prague from old Prague, like 1960s, 1970s. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, that's something your camera and myself have in common. Neither one want to see your face. Thank you, Shane. Love you too, buddy.
Love you, Shane.
But okay, I got Glenn. Let me get Glenn in the Discord server too. Yeah. I know I don't know him. It's fine. He's weird. I get it. Invite Glenn. There. Now Glenn can be in there too. Yeah, what is shipping going to cost us, you think, for this? What do you think that's going to cost?
Free UK. That's the goal.
Okay.
Free UK. We've got a good shipping supply already. So our chemical company that we're collaborating with, they already have air freight for America already organized, because you don't want to be using regular freight.
No, God,
especially
no.
with the geopolitical shenanigans going on at the moment. Let's ignore certain hotspots. Air freight's a very stable payment style. And then obviously all of Europe will be covered. War zones excluded, because you can't ship there.
Nope.
But we're looking to also get this on Amazon with Amazon next day. So we have a bulk batch on its way specifically for Amazon warehousing. So it will probably be a different price on Amazon, I will say now. Different price, because Amazon does weird things with their cuts. I haven't fully investigated how Amazon chooses their final price versus what they send to us. I don't really care, as long as we get like the mandatory minimum. That means that we're not losing money. Then I'm going to try and keep it as cheap as possible on Amazon, and then you can probably do Amazon Prime delivery on that to get next day or 2-day delivery for free.
You know, Dreams Void makes a point. Do you get it for free if you buy a printer? It should come with a.
It will be coming with a printer.
Yeah, it should come
So
with a
from
kit.
now on, when printers are bought, once we have the next batch in, printers will come with the very aesthetic bottles, not even like the
They're
cheaper
so
ones.
pretty.
No, you're getting
They're
the
so
nice glass
pretty.
bottles.
Yeah, yeah, they're so pretty. Omar Garcia asked about the Discord. So we do pay gate it, but it's a place where it's a lot of people that run businesses, but there's just some makers in there too. We help each other out. It's a very safe space. Like we have dedicated channels for ranting, where it's like you just want to scream into the void, go there, scream into the void. Fine. We have one dedicated to neurodivergence where you can talk about, being on the spectrum, and I drop packets. But it is a pay gated Discord where it is a community of people. It's like 200 of us right now, and I will randomly pop in into the live chats and things like that occur. And after the shows, every time we do a show, we always have a live hangout in the Discord as well. So, Shane said you have to agree to Amazon's terms of use and their services. Part of that is their pricing scheme. I would be very careful with Amazon because, dude, people are going to buy your product. They're going to empty it. They're going to fill it full of water and they're going to send it back, and you're going to pay for that.
That's fine, because I've already been told you can actually have a don't accept chemical returns because it's a consumable on the entire product. If it was like just the bottle, they could do what they want and send it back, but because it is a consumable, the moment it's shipped out, it's considered consumed.
Okay. So, and then James Mullen's asking about Prusa PA sheets. I don't know that yet.
I don't have that answer either.
Yeah, I
only have one of them, and I don't have the electron microscope required to see how it affects the surface texture of the PA sheets.
Mm-hmm. And Omar, if you do want to get into the Discord at all, you join at the $10 tier and higher via Patreon, PayPal, YouTube channel members, whatever way works. If it is Patreon, it is automatic. If it is YouTube or PayPal, you have to send me a message because those ones aren't automatic to get you in there. Yeah, and he was the one that messaged me on Reddit a while back about an A1 burning. Maybe it was like last week or something about an A1 burning. Theirs burned up. But yeah, dude, I'm excited, especially at like the $20-ish / pound price point. I think if it can come in to my door under $30 for a kit, and then offer refills that aren't in those fancy glass bottles because I don't need a bunch of those, super good. I really do like that. I think that's a great move for you guys. I will be very excited to see the movement there. So good job.
I am too. It's not even like the fact that the product is shaping up to be hyper popular. It's just that, again, we've done what I love with Construct3D as a brand, is just chasing perfection and unapologetically turning that into a sellable item. I didn't care if it was popular. I just wanted a solution. And that solution, pun intended, happens to be very sought after.
I'm excited because I've been a Windex fanboy for years. And I think when we first discussed it, I'm like, it's a little pricey, dude. 35 plus shipping and all that, dude. This is going to be like a $50 set of bottles. Like, you got to really sell me. But if you're under $30 to my door, it's so much easier. And I will test it on Prusa nylon plates. I have a few. I'll test it. The HT90, thankfully, the nylon build plate for it is much larger than it can print. So I have some like areas that I can tape off and test it. And if it gets damaged, it doesn't print there. So it doesn't matter. But I have a nylon plate for Core 1, I think. I need to see what machines I have nylon plates for. But I'm happy to test it. I will want to see if it works well on the BQ Big Tree Tech plates as well, because some of those don't like.
Some of them are a bit finicky.
Too.
Yeah, they tend to be a bit finicky.
Those are cheap to test, though.
I haven't had any issues with them because the Part 2, which does have that it has such a small amount of ethyl alcohol.
Right.
It generally doesn't degrade the surfaces. It's only if you get above a certain threshold does it start to actually damage those surfaces. Also, it's a safety thing. We didn't want a liquid that is flammable.
Yeah,
safe.
I wouldn't want to take the risks. I wouldn't.
I'm being told my mic is low, so I'm getting closer to it. That's fine. Yeah, so all right, let's hit the final topic then. Or is there anything else you want to close out on this with?
No, I think that's it. We should be launching the chemical in hopefully under a week. We're just sorting out the website. We've already sorted all our supply chains. Our contracts have gone through.
As soon as it's
just the
public, we'll be
website.
posting it in the Discord. We'll be posting it on social media. Don't worry. You guys will know when it's public, okay?
And you know what? If this video can get more than 200 likes, we'll make the next podcast have a discount code for the chemical.
Only 200 likes?
You've only got 79 at the moment.
Oh, you mean right now. You're saying
Right
live.
now.
Okay,
Live.
well, there's only 143 people watching.
Yeah, but people have left. If we can get 200 likes by, let's say tomorrow, end the stream, and then by tomorrow, I'll make sure that there is a discount code for when we go live. Just for the people in the chat and viewing on that live stream.
If we can do it, we can do it. All right, so INDX Preorders, man. It's happening.
It's happening.
INDX Founders Editions, they are now able to close their pre-order. They're able to finalize it.
It's exciting. I want to say so much. I cannot say so much. But people are going to be very happy.
Have you seen the pictures from Prusa with the new Prusa, with the new panel that they're putting on?
I haven't.
It looks interesting. So right now there's a little bar that goes across where the light is.
Yeah.
But they're replacing it with a pretty big piece of laser cut steel. That's, powder coated and all that to match the rest of the machine. Or maybe it's aluminum. Don't know. It's metal, right? And the community is pissed because of how big this piece is. And we've never seen the mounting system for it. I'm like, it doesn't matter, guys. Like, the nozzles themselves are going to block so much of this. That's not blocking much more. I do wish they had a photo so we could see if you can still see the first layer or not. But there is a pretty big piece of metal now that goes across the front of the Core 1 Plus to add the indexes. Reliance says they just want to sell more cameras. Not to me. Not going to sell them to me. But yeah, and someone had asked earlier if we're getting a Founders Edition kit. I was not able to get a Founders Edition pre-order. By the time we were done streaming, the stream was still, this website was still being hugged to death. And by the time that I had time to even go, they were sold out. They were sold out for hours by the time that I had time. So there are a few people that have kind of decided they don't want their Founders Editions anymore. So I'm hoping that Bondtech will allow us to transfer the Founders Editions over. So I could buy somebody else's. Be happy to do that, right? I don't know what'll happen, but I am excited for it. It looks like they're shipping kind of late April is what they were talking about. And potentially opening up more pre-orders mid-April, according to Martin Bondiush, who was on
Also,
the Heat in the Hot Seat.
Mike C, yes, I am still under NDA. Until things are fully announced.
Yes, Jacob will still be under
and
NDA.
public, I will be under NDA.
Yep.
And even then, some parts of knowledge will be under NDA. It's only things that are public. So, public knowledge I can talk about. I cannot talk about anything that isn't public for 5 years.
Jimmy said, speaking of, do you really want me to go and pick it up in person? Or was that a, well, you gotta thing? I'm at checkout and just need to check the shipping method. Dude, if you want to go get your index in person, go and do it in person. If you want to get it shipped because you don't want to make the drive, get it shipped. You've been to Bondtech before. You were there when we were there. You ate Schustroming with us. You are the dude. It's up to you, boss. I would go there simply to pester Olaf if he was in the office that day, but that's just me. It's just me. Chagall said, I was also disappointed no 0.2 millimeter nozzles yet. And that makes sense. I would expect them to focus on what is going to sell more initially, which is going to be the Hardened nozzles, CHT for 0.4, 5, 6, 8, and 1.0. And I think those are what are currently available. Yeah. Kind of excited to see it.
Yeah.
I think I saw a final index machine at Prusa,
Oh.
but I'm not certain. It was like in passing when we were walking by. And it did look like, you know, a fair bit of the top area was blocked, but at the same time, it's an effing Prusa. You don't need to see the first layer. It works, okay? Like, Jesus. Rob Lutter said Olaf personally handed it to you with a spoon of Schustroming. No, he won't. Olaf wasn't anywhere near the Schustroming. He was inside. Those of us that, you know, real winners, we were the ones outside. These are not the printers you were looking for.
The real winners were the ones that were slightly inside and got a tiny whiff of what you were dealing with and decided, I'm fine back here.
Yeah, they were smart about it. But yeah, so at Smurf, we saw the final-ish revision of Index on the V0, and they were doing changeovers in as fast as 8.5 seconds. From parking a nozzle, picking it up, and starting to print the prime tower, 8.5 seconds. That is nuts. That is nuts. That is so fast. That's faster. I think that's faster than my XL. I'm almost positive it's faster than the XL. And Mike C 8101 said, if I did get a dev kit, what printer? SV08. I mean, it's very obvious a index machine. Like,
yeah,
I have 2 of them for the sole purpose of index and then enclosing. That's the goal. And those are 350 cubes, great size machines. I think you'll be able to put 12 heads on it is what we figured out. Great. Happy with that. But yeah, if it is not a Prusa kit that I can buy off of somebody, then it will be a dev kit for, and I'll specifically do it with the SV08. So, yeah. MLV 10 out of 10. Thank you for getting us to that 10. Said I wish the SV08 kits weren't canceled. It's not so much that they were canceled because I don't.
They were just low in demand, weren't they? They just didn't make any more.
It's that you have to work with the manufacturer, and that was the issue. The issue with Bondtech is if you're working with all these manufacturers, especially ones that like don't have really easy ways to work with other companies, you run into a lot of trouble. It is easier from Bondtech's perspective to let the developer kits develop a mount for the SV08. They adopt that mount and then they sell the kits for the SV08. I'm sure Sovol had an opportunity. They didn't take it, right? And another $5 from Sambuzaru saying, woo, goal reach. Thank you very much. Thank you all for your support in getting to the goal. Thank you so much. Yeah, because like I know Rat Rigs are in there, Vorons are in there. Of course, Steve Builds, who we'll be sending you guys to go hang out with when we're done here, he's the only public beta tester for Index, right? He's the only one that's public. And he's got it running on a Voron, right? I don't know who else has them. I don't have one. I assume Jacob does, but he couldn't tell me if he did anyways. I assume he does. I don't. I don't have any. I am indexless. I'm indexless.
That was terrible. Somebody please just clip that and just overlay it onto like an Elden Ring meme. Yeah, good. Somebody put that on an Elden Ring meme. Just comes out instead of your maidenless, it's just AI generated voice of your indexless, and then it's just Grant breaking down into tears.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sounds like you mean a Voron, i.e. a 2.4. Bondtech says the Trident will be the easiest to put it on, and I have a Trident, so great. But the Trident's dead right now, so not great. I still think the SV08 and SV08 Max are going to be the big machines out there for this. They're cheap. You can get them. You can get SV08 sub $600. You're going to put about $600 worth of index into it if you want to fully kit it out with the enclosure and all that. And you're $1,200 for a 350 cube. Like, come on, guys. That's an easy win. Don't get me wrong. Prusa with the Core 1 Plus, Core 1L with index. Every one of my index-capable Prusa printers will be getting index, period. And they will all be getting fully kitted out with as many nozzles as they can fit, period. We did get confirmation that the Core 1L is not going above 8 heads, though.
Which, to be fair, a completely acceptable amount of heads.
But it can fit more.
I make your own custom print if you need more. In which reality do you need more than 8 heads? Go on. Give me one reason you need more than 8.
Because I want it.
8 failover spools?
Shut up.
So
It's
you
'cause
could
I
have
want
like
it. It's
8
because I
times
want it.
5 kilos?
It's because I want it. Don't tell me what I can and can't. I'll tell you when I've had enough. I haven't had enough index. I'll tell you when I've had enough. No, but 8 is probably acceptable. My assumption,
Probably.
because why are they doing it this way? Because it means they don't have to mess with the firmware. The firmware and the docking positions for the Core 1 will be exactly the same for the Core 1L. It's just
I mean,
easier.
I have a sneaking suspicion. It's less about that. It might be a firmware limit for number of tools. Because you normally have a 0th tool, which means 8 heads is actually 9, and then you have the actual carriage making 10. So if it's firmware limit, that would make sense as well.
I don't know about that. My theory was it was just easier on a development side of things. But then it's also like, where the F do you put all the spools? The inbox that Sander Voxel 3D is working on, I think that only fits 8. Which, again, if I am going to be upgrading all of my upgradable Prusas to indexes, they are all also going to have inboxes. At least in theory they will, because it doesn't make sense not to have it, right? And then maybe put a JO dryer on it or a poly dryer to dry the filament. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. Winslow Joy asked if it's coming to the XL. I doubt it. The XL is so fundamentally different. If it does, great, but I doubt it. I doubt it.
Yeah.
The XL is just a different type of machine. Tanner Dude Man says I need to print a solid 300 millimeter cube with 12 colors.
Do it.
I mean, that's how else could you do it? And yes, someone might hack the XL. That's their OCL license, the Open Community License. I've always had a problem with that naming scheme, open, because it's just not open.
I don't have that much. Q episode 253 where we talked about it.
We were talking about this again in the Discord yesterday because Adafruit put out like a smear piece about it with a lawyer that seemed to really be pissed off at Prusa, like properly pissed off. And I said, I want to reopen this discussion of like, what is a better name than Open Community License? Fair Community License. Fair. It's not open. It's fair.
See, I liked Accessible Community License, ACL. It's got the same vibe as OCL, but even fair, FCL.
Well, the GP3 with the Community Collaboration License, CCL, that's acceptable too.
I like it.
Yeah, as open describes community, not license. It doesn't matter.
And I agree.
It's the way that it sounds.
I agree that open was for the community.
It is open
as
to
an
the
open
community,
to access.
open to the community license, right? That's
However, in our industry in particular, open means open source.
right. And I think
that's why people have problems with it.
Dude, so many people got such a hard on about that name open. I'm like, yeah, it's not my favorite name either, but I don't have a better option. And in the Discord, I think it was Safe that said fair. I'm like, oh, actually, Yeah, you know what? I don't hate that. I don't hate that. That's pretty good. Um, Tulsa Skin says they need to upgrade the Mini. There's a community project for the Core Mini. I don't know if you've
Index
seen
on the
that.
Mini.
I don't know if it can have index, but the idea
No,
is that it is a
they
community
can't.
project that takes the old Prusa Mini and turns it into a Core XY, but makes it look like a Core 1. So you have the Core 1L, the Core 1 Plus, and then the Core Mini. It's just so cute.
I'm just saying that we need to see more micro printers on the market. Everyone's going bigger, 300 mil, 350 mil. No, 150 mil. I want to
180.
see a printer that I can put actually on my desk, just there,
Okay, a
making me
micron.
tiny little things.
A micron.
Yeah, like a V0, a micron.
I mean,
Yeah,
and
Or like-
that's where you get, right?
yeah. I just like them. I think they're neat. Like the Rook. I
They're-
love the Rook.
Yes. Oh, the Rook is cool. I've always wanted to build a Rook.
I want to build a Rook.
I love this idea because it's fun personally. From a business standpoint, it is not practical whatsoever,
No.
right? They just 180 doesn't work for my business. It's cool, it works for me personally, but yeah, beyond that, no, it doesn't. Oh, apparently Rollahan just put out the Rook Mark II. That's cool.
Even better. I'm going to be watching that after this.
Yep. Oh yeah, and then there was the Muon that was showed off, which is a Positron. If Apple designed it, it looks like a Mac Mini.
I really love it, and
They-
I'm so afraid for them.
They hate the fact that when people are like, oh, it looks like a Mac Mini with a Positron, they hate that so much.
Then why did they go to the Apple design school of how
don't
to
know.
design an aluminium box?
I don't know, but they were so, you could tell that it was like kicking a puppy. I was over there when Joel was getting set up to film with them, and David Tobin is like, so what's that look like to you? I said, it looks like a Positron that was designed by Apple. Looks like you've got a Positron sitting on top of a Mac Mini. And the guy's like, ugh. I'm like, it's not my fault. That's what it looks like, homie.
I mean, you made a flat box with nice rounded edges that looks like it uses
Like,
the
I
same
will
like
grab a
Apple
Mac
bevel
Mini.
shape.
I'll grab a Mac Mini from above.
I
me,
think they're
okay?
missing out the best marketing opportunity.
They
People
are
who
too.
buy Macs buy this printer. It looks the same. You could stack them on top of each other and it would look great.
Yep.
Though I am a bit worried for them. Just on a complete tangent, they need to sort out their manufacturing.
Yep.
Because it is really expensive, and the price point they're going for, 60% of that will be just machining the aluminium. Because, or like the head, they have this really nice monolithic designed cutting path, and then if you flip it over, they have one cut that all of it went down, all cut in, 45-degree angle, straight in. I'm like, oh,
4-axis, you can get away with that.
yes, but now you've doubled your price because you're forced to use a 4-axis instead of like a tombstone to 3-axis.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, guys, it's so pretty. Just make it a cut and put a plastic insert in. Just do it.
Well, I'm looking forward to building a Positron at some point. There's a new one coming out at some point with the features that I want. One of them being a functioning auto bed leveling. That's the only way I'll build a Positron, because I want to take it with me to shows. The only way that I can do that is if it has auto bed leveling. That's what I need, right? That's from a business standpoint for me to take it with me places. If it doesn't auto bed level, then having it fold doesn't do me any good either.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of cool stuff coming out now. I'm excited for this Creality filament machine. I think it's going to unlock a lot of new opportunities for boutique and bespoke filament. Flashforge toolchanger, as long as it's cheap, fine. Bambu H2D Pro doesn't really tickle me all that well, but I'm curious about their Peak Pro filament. I might grab a roll of it when it comes out to see. Obviously, your AllClean is something I'm gung-ho for. I'd love to see it be distributed here in the States, and I'll do whatever I can to help you out, make that happen.
Yeah, get us in contact with some people over there, because I know not many people in America.
Well,
I have obviously you and the other YouTubers, but I don't really have contacts with the resellers or white labelers.
since you've given some to Prusa already, if Prusa picks it up, it would just go to Printed Solid too.
Brilliant.
Right, because it's a Prusa company. So that would be ideal in my opinion. But yeah, there's Fabrico. I can get you with Fabrico. I can get you with West 3D. I know the owners of both. Obviously, 3D Prima for the UK and the EU. And yes, Dave Randolph, I don't know if you saw, got picked up by Coco Press.
Yes, I did.
I'm excited to see
I was
that.
actually really, really happy for Ellie being like, that's the person.
Oh,
you
yeah, and
need.
then I always forget about KB3D. Yes, KB3D would be another one for the US. KB-3D.com. It's not KB3D.com. It is KB-3D.com.
Oh no, I remember because I googled it wrong and I was like, huh,
No,
interesting.
that can't be them.
Is this them? Maybe.
And I know that people want us to talk about the full color, full spectrum slicer for Orca, the fork of Orca for full spectrum. That's probably better for more
Either
of a,
print
like,
fix or its own dedicated
it's
episode.
probably a better for a dedicated episode to talk about it because
There's
it is
nuance.
really unique. I don't have any seat time with it. I assume you don't either.
No, I've seen the thumbnail and I was like, I'm gonna come back to that.
Yeah.
It was 4 days ago.
Yeah, no, that's how it goes. But all right, I guess Glenn from 3D Prima wants to sponsor the filament giveaway this week. So let me find that tab. Let me close the giveaway first. So we're going to close the giveaway. How the heck? Okay, accepting new responses. It's closed. Let's go to the form. We're still in March, right? Yeah, we're still in March. Okay.
Unfortunately,
Sort
we
from
are
A to
still in
Z.
March.
Let me pull this up. Let me pull the names from this week. Huge thank you to 3D Prima for stepping in. Greatly appreciated. Hopefully this doesn't hurt you too much, Glenn. But we warned you. First winner, and I guess I got to make sure. Oh, this is a name I haven't seen before. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think.
Doug, thank you. End the recording. There we go.
And the recording.
Yeah, we're recording, remember? On
Oh
ABS.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's
Stopping
right. Yeah, no,
recording. There we go.
we sorry. We have to do our sign off, then we can end the recording. God.
Shit, I just clicked end!
Too late. Oh, it's fine. I'll do the sign off. You're good. You're good.
No, it's okay. Give it like 10 seconds and I'll click
it's
start
fine,
recording
it's
again.
Fine, it's fine. It's fine. Thank you all for watching. This has been episode 257 of the Making Awesome Podcast. If you are listening over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, make sure to rate us, comment, whatever. If you're watching live, obviously, leave a like, get subscribed if you haven't. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one.
God
Good.
damn it.
Good job. Thank you for reminding us, because we probably would have kept going.
We would have kept going.
Oh, we
I would
would've
have just kept
completely
recording
kept
for
going.
hours.
Okay. Bill Pierce. So if you can go in the chat and at BILL space Pierce like you would expect.
Nothing's coming up.
Okay. Because of course, today's another one of those days where my freaking Chrome doesn't work for YouTube chat. So nope, I don't see Bill Pierce in there.
No.
Okay, let me do a few more shuffles. Thank you for reminding us. Beware of the INDX of March. Oh, that's actually pretty good. That one's actually pretty good. Let me make sure this person didn't win.
Also, for everyone wondering, Rosie immediately stole the ghost pepper, put it in our kitchen. I'm in so much danger every day. Whenever
Oh,
she
it's not
cooks,
that
I'm
bad.
like,
It's
honestly,
not
though,
that
not that
bad.
bad. What's really funny, because we're not live anymore, we're just regular live now. I
Jim
got
won.
a video of my mum trying.
No. Is she okay
trying-
with this?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Trying the easiest one, the 2 out of 10 spice.
Homie, I'm not gonna get hurt by your mother. It better be okay.
She's just talking about how it's tingling her tongue and it's getting worse, and it's spreading over her mouth.
Yeah.
And then that was it. It was just the whole like.
So, Jib is here. Jib won, and then Jay Waller, who's also here, they won. So, unfortunately, because Bill Pierce was not here, they don't win. Unfortunately, Jay Waller is there. So, all right, those are our 2 winners this week.
Brilliant.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
So, let me set it up so it pushes everybody to go hang out with Steve. And then, yeah, I guess I will be hanging out in the Discord. You gonna be hanging out too, or you got places to be?
Well, I've got a 6-year-old to look after at the moment, and I have bottles to put on the website because, oh my god, the website is actually imploded, and our web developer is doing absolutely nothing. And I'm finding more and more reasons just to be saying, why don't I just host this myself?
Don't
I'm
host
my
the
own
website
tech support.
yourself, but you can.
I have a server right there with 100 gigabit per second upload.
I understand, but don't do that. That's a data security issue. Host it with somebody else. But yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, but no, I don't want to be hosting myself.
be hanging out in the Discord. See you all there. And otherwise, go hang out with Mr. Steve Builds and, I don't know, say something funny for us. I don't know. We'll see you guys. Take care.
Bazinga.